Yo. Mic check. Realm, what is going on? Talk to me. Vagabondo, early. I see you from the last word. That's my guy. Salute. Mass erect. I can't do it in a soft voice. What's up? Let me know how my levels is. Dallas, man.
Mass erect.
That's the guy. Gaming Stewie, new name. What's going on? David Oros, my guy. Hunter, what's up? You know what I mean? Six Layer, what's going on? Yeah, you already know. And what else? No Bad Salida, the OG, the legend. Pecan Fusion, I think you're going to be happy today. Trust me when I say that. Vogel's Krieg, my guy. What's going on? Yeah, so we just chilling. Addict, say what's up to the people again.
Hey, Shad.
Hey, Forte. Remember that shit that kicked in with the...
That's why I did it.
Yeah, that shit is hilarious. Nam Omar, what's going on, brother? That's my guy. Salute. Pong, what's going on? Good show last night, Pong. I saw the shop. Y'all had Microsoft in the building. The Otaku Fit. Wow, salute. Otaku Fit. File some chat. Just showing support. Have a great show today. I appreciate you. Yeah, we got the Grubb in the building. It's going to be lit. You already know. Oh, hold on. I already like this guy. Addict. The real Sephiroth is in here. Genova is in the building. Let's go. Man. The real Sephiroth. Woo! Yo, you can be in here anytime, brother.
Who's the fake Sephiroth?
I don't know,
I guess there's a lot of fake Sephiroths.
It's the real. This is F Final Fantasy VII official.
Technically in Advent Children, that was like a remake of a Sephiroth. Okay. It was the real Sephiroth, but it was like they used Genova's.
Hold on. FK Burgess, I hope I didn't butcher your name. Salute, Gorilla Games in the building. Salute, Sony. That's what I want to see. But yeah, real Sephiroth's in here. Anyway, so look, we are gonna get this thing started in a few. The King will be pulling up. You already know he comes to music, so we don't want copyright strikes. And then I will get the Grubb, and we're trying to have a good show today, y'all. So I'll talk to y'all in a minute.
Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I'm addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals. All on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I want to do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. Feeling to be your dog, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I'm addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals. All on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I want to do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. Feeling to be your dog, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I'm addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals. All on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I want to do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. Feeling to be your dog, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So, look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment, they call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. I got, nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that
sick of
going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So, look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment, they call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. I got, nah, let's switch that up.
What is you
What I
doing?
wanna do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
sick of
that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So, look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment, they call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. I got, nah, let's switch that up.
What is you
What I
doing?
wanna do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
sick of
that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So, look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment, they call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rains. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. Let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do
Don't
is-
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that,
super
keep
nervous.
that, keep that going, keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So, look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment, they call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rains. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. Let's switch that up.
What is you
What I
doing?
wanna do
Don't
is-
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that,
super
keep
nervous.
that, keep that going, keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. I'ma just chill and watch them and eat snacks in the attic. I wanted to chill with the pack and be like a young whoop, but then they would mistake me for addict. If I can imagine it's cool to give you some advice, then invite your girl to your squadron. Cause if you don't give her that option, you gon' be single player like Sovereign. You gon' get tossed in the bushes by King David. Royalty and not a pretender. Detrimental to an elemental, what's an avatar to a knee bender? I gotta be me though. I know it's my destiny, word to Carnito. Who cares if you fly, if you still a mosquito? You swear you ain't stuntin', but really be Steve-O. You like to collect stuff and that's cool, but I got bad news. Even if you really was that dude, King David still be the king of the statues. Since a juvenile, I've been cursed with a curse to be musical. And if you hate it, we'll meet in the crucible. Other than that, then it's cool and it's beautiful. We let you know that your dreams are pursuable. Whatever you wanna do, then it's doable. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day. Woo. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day.
All right. And we are live. Hear ye, hear ye. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast and also live on lordsofgaming.net, episode number 207. It's another glorious Sunday. We're back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm very excited about our special guest, and we've got some hot stove gaming talk, Returnal impressions, and Microsoft Store revenue to discuss, so we gonna get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord whose stellar track record for reporting and informative games journalism has truly cemented himself as a source to be relied on. Whether it be his deep dives into the business of video games or not taking online debates too seriously, all done with his trademark humor. Introducing the creator and host of the Jeff Grubb's Game Mess YouTube/Twitch channels and the reporter/editor for VentureBeat.com. The Lord who embraces the mess of the industry. Jim Ryan's #1 fan with the most majestic hair in the game. Live from Denver by way of Michigan, and kind enough to make his debut into the realm of the Lords, my man, Lord Jeff Grubb. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing great after that intro. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go. How you
I'm doing
man?
very good. Yeah, I'm doing great. No, this is awesome. I'm really happy to be on. Yeah, I'm ready to do this thing, talk about some video games,
Yes.
and just hanging out with the Lords. Let's do this.
Bro, when you put you was like church. I love that.
Yeah,
It hit
going
the
to
heart.
church. Let's go to church. Yeah.
What's going on? What you been playing, man? But besides Returnal, what games have you been playing?
Mostly I've been playing Returnal, but in the last couple of days I've been hanging out with Crash 4 on the Switch. Rest in peace, Toys for Bob.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rip. And I've been checking out a few things here or there, but mostly it's just been Returnal.
Nice.
A lot of time with Returnal because even after the review went up, I just wanted to stay in there, make sure I was on top of things, make sure I knew what was happening with the game. Kind of stay in the conversation there. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
a good game. I like it.
No doubt. We're going to get into your thoughts later. You know there's going to be a deep dive on that. But I appreciate you being here. You're a Lord at what you do. Love the content. We're going to have a lot of fun today. So you already know we got the 4 horsemen of gaming, those original Lords of the Realm here at the round table with semi-time sensitive intros. My co-host with the co-host, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, Lord of his own world, and the how of the young wolf. My man, Lord Addict, how we doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. I fresh off the Returnal drug. We'll have to talk a little bit more about that, man. Like, you guys would be proud of me. I even have a document with my pros.
We have notes.
Wow.
Okay.
Impressive.
We have notes because
Evolution.
I mean,
here. I like
obviously,
this.
Jeff Grubb coming in here with the smoke. I gotta keep up.
I feel that. Gotta respect royalty. Gotta do our due diligence. Anything else besides Returnal, sir?
I finally beat Octopath Traveler. It took like 80 hours, but I beat it.
Wow.
And
All the side bosses, optional stuff.
I beat all of that. And I don't think I've been so happy to beat a last boss in my whole life. Cause it's one of those games where, like an RPG, where it's like, yo, we know that you've been using these 4 characters and only these 4 characters the whole game. We're gonna make you use the other whack ones. So I'm just sitting there, and when they hit me with that, I'm like, because I didn't know, because how it goes is you fight the lower part of the last boss, and then it goes up and you fight the upper part of the last boss. So you fight the lower part of one team and you fight the second part of one team. So I'm sitting here fight the first part, and then when the second part starts, I'm like, I'm screwed. This dude's level 15.
Damn. I feel you, bro. It's a unique mechanic. I mean, I remember you were telling me your frustrations with that shit.
You have
But
to
that's
love
cool.
your characters equally, Addict.
Exactly.
Love.
No
Octopath Traveler,
Exactly.
Octopath Traveler maybe have no favorites this game, but I would. But trust me, this doesn't happen often.
Nah, respect you, man. No doubt. So, if you want to get that super chat before I introduce you, sir?
We have a few. We have a couple
Oh wow,
of them.
damn, I
Get
missed
them.
them. Sorry.
Did we get the first one, the Otaku Fix?
Yes, I got
with the
him
5?
offline. Yep, I
Okay,
got
you
him.
did. Okay, so then we have Flame with the $2 super chat. Happy Sunday, Lords. More like Refundal. Hey, yo.
Oh, see, there they go.
Facts.
There they
I
go.
got that list too. I got a list
know.
too.
You got a list too.
I got a list too. I wrote that down too.
I don't know, Addict. I think a lot of
People
people
selling them for
gonna
$65.
show how whack their skills are today. That's what I see. I don't know about you. Right? Some people just don't have the.
Well, I
high...
mean,
We'll get into
we're
it.
gonna see people have like. We're gonna see how people. Have
I like
legacy.
Refundal though. I like
I like
that, though.
Refundal way better.
We're
time on the slander. Let's get to the super chat, sir.
No. I gotta finish this. We're gonna see people with the lack of skills and people that didn't play the game that have an opinion.
Exactly. Then we have 108 Dragons TV, $5 super chat. Good afternoon, Lords. Looking forward to this great show. Thank you, my brother.
Man. We're caught up for now.
Yes, sir.
And of course, that glorious voice you just heard reading super chats is our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player experience, and also the Sostradamus, the Lord of Clarity and Lord Patreon of the Iron Bank, my man, Lord Sovereign. How we doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic, sir. I'm also off the Returnal drug. Although I must admit I'm nowhere near good as addict, but I'll take the beating and keep on going. So it's fine. It's fine. So
people were like hardcore putting in that chat. How did you just do that? I guess because I played so many of these type of games, it's just like the reflexes have just always been there.
The reflexes the reflexes translate kind of almost 1-to-1 from their 2D games. Mm-hmm. It's just that you have to get used to that same sort of, like, a lot of times those games you see them from a distance and you can see where all the craziness is coming from. Mm-hmm. Third person is not the same thing, so everything has to, you try to keep it in front of you.
Yeah. When the little red icon that happens behind you say, "Yo, there's a projectile on its way." Most of the time, you gotta jump up left and right, hope to God you don't.
Exactly. So beyond that, I just finished once again smoking some fools at Home Run Derby.
MLB show.
MLB show.
All rise.
Let me ask you a question. How do you consume that?
I consume. Well, I purchased.
Well, console choice.
Yeah, Xbox, sir.
Okay, thank you.
This is our Lord Jeff. This is our
and that's how you did it. That's
Game Pass infomercial.
It would be Xbox for the foreseeable future.
Thank you, sir.
Now notice that if Sov would have bought that, if you wouldn't have bought that, King's highlight would have been Game Pass, not Xbox.
No, I don't. Listen. I don't care how he consume it, as long as he consume it how he wants to. I'm gonna tell you how.
Unless it's PlayStation.
As long as I consume it on Xbox.
No. If you would have consumed it on PlayStation, I would have been happy as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
Anyway,
listen,
so
that console needs some love.
It's ridiculous.
On the way back, we have a giveaway today because we have some stuff coming out next week you guys may be aware of. So we'll do that afterwards. But let me read these super chats before we move on. We have Assemble with the $2 super chat. Happy Sunday to the ILP. Much love, boys. Hey, Jeff. No doubt. Then we have Dan Lazaro, $2 super chat. It's called Octo Addict. It literally means 8.
So just because it says Octo, because it says Octo, that means I'm gonna assume that you're gonna make me fight with all the. Man, get out of here!
He kind of got you
out here with that nonsense.
That was kind of a good shot.
Just because there's Octo and there's 8 characters, don't mean they're gonna make me use all 8. There is 8 characters. In no way
learn from the violence of the chat.
No.
You don't like that.
If it would have said Octo Traveler, we're gonna make you fight with all 8. You got something there, but it's
title, right? We're gonna make you fight with all 8.
Subtitle, yeah.
That's the title.
We're gonna move forward.
Moving forward
from this.
Then we have Michael, aka Betstuy's finest, $5 super chat. Good morning, Lords. Hope all is well. And yes, PS5 is done, son.
Oh my God,
that's a fact.
Game Pass is life. PlayStation is dead. God bless. Say less. I feel horrible reading these things. I really do.
Don't feel bad.
Let's take a couple seconds and realize. That this army king got followed.
Oh, yeah, this is okay. And then they say, King, you're an Xbox podcast.
Let
King's thoughts.
Let me explain to you how my streams on Returnal going. Okay, the entire chat, 9 times out of 10, was in there. It's like, this ain't worth $70. Like, what's going on here? What's Sony's? Yo, King, tell me how the game crashes live.
Oh, wow.
Like in Ford,
what did you expect?
Crashes live, and then all I see in the chat was like $70 banger. Here we go.
We will get to that subject.
Then we got Flame coming back at me. $2 super chat. Skills can't fix game crashes, even at dynamic 4K. Messy. What else do we have? We have to welcome Michael Owen to the realm. Put the crest in the chat.
Put the crest up in the chat, y'all.
And let me see. We have a few more. Oh my God.
Let's call it flying in. We might have to
real quick. All right. Jigga J, $5 super chat. Good morning, Lord. That's Jigga J.
I like that. New album, new mixtape coming out.
Good morning, Lord. Good morning, Lords and Jeff. Thoughts on second extension? Have you played? I did not download it yet. I knew I forgot to download something.
I'll talk about it on my part.
Gerald Mack, $5 super chat. Shout out to the ILP, absolute superstars in the gaming journalism realm. All hail the ILP. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Xbox Now with the $2 super chat. King, are adaptive triggers the future of gaming? Wow.
That's my dude, yo. He follows me on every show, and he does this.
Thank you, everyone. We will continue with super chats afterwards.
Okay. Now they coming. Now
they're coming.
They're coming. We ain't gonna never get the show started.
We'll get you guys in a minute.
No doubt. So that's been it, right, Sal?
That has been it. Anybody who wants that smoke in MLB The Show, come see me. Thank you.
I do, baby. Oh, okay.
I do.
Let's get it, baby.
And of course, we have the Incredible Hulk of this, aka the XS Gamer, the prophet of Xbox, king of the statues, who demands nothing less than that premium experience. It is the leader of the fraud alert movement.
My bad. Because I was just feeling the fraud alert movement. I just saw a dude with a flag on top of a car. Like,
I'm done with you.
When we talk about Returnal, you might as well just keep that up, my dude.
Yo, you stupid. Beloved Lord King, how are we doing, sir?
I'm doing incredible. Andy Ruiz Jr., you're a fraud.
Oh, what happened?
You're absolute. This is for you.
No.
This is for you, which you paid for a win. There's no way in hell you're supposed to get knocked down twice, wiggled all over the ring, and still come out with a win. That does not equate
this
to
is
a
boxing.
win.
I'm gonna go get something to drink.
Yeah, go get something. I'm gonna do that when you talk about Returnal too.
Continue.
Yeah, so it was absolutely garbage. I felt sorry for my dude, Chris Ariola.
Yeah,
man, keep your head up. You definitely did your thing. Came in shape. It was great. As far as what I've been playing,
yes, sir.
Shout out to Game Pass, man. Go into Game Pass for the win.
What are we doing now?
I did not get a chance to touch Returnal, and I won't. Okay. At the same time, I did play Destroy All Humans. Looks incredible, plays incredible. I remember it like it was yesterday, and they upped the graphics, so it's so much fun to be a little evil. Excuse me.
Is this the remaster?
I think it is. It looks better. So I just it was in Game Pass. I'm sorry. That's why I can see my stuff.
I saw you also on Second Extinction, sir.
Okay, yeah. So I played Second Extinction, and I'm glad it's in alpha or whatever it is in beta, because the game has a huge amount of flaws, in my opinion. When you're using your gun's supposed to feel visceral. Yeah. I'm used to Bungie type of gameplay when it comes to first-person shooters, or even if you're talking about something like Outriders, how the gunplay feels. It has to have a feel. When you're hitting something, when you're shooting something, it has to have a feel. The impact. It's not there yet, and they can work on it. And it's a little, and those moment-to-moment feelings. You're supposed to have 30 seconds of fun. Right. 30 seconds of fun. And I'm not having 30 seconds of fun. I'm like having fun and then finding a new area. Okay. I don't like that. Okay. There's too much dead space.
Okay, I got you.
And dead space in games is really not fun. It's like going to a radio station, they have good laughs on second, and then it's dead air. Okay. Really not fun like that. So they have to work on those little aspects. MLB The Show, the boy has started his march to October.
Oh, that road to October is fire.
Oh, God. So listen, my daughter fell asleep on the couch, right? And I'm playing MLB The Show. She opened her eyes and was like, Daddy, you watching baseball? Because she just like, you know how your eyes are a little fuzzy when you wake up? She didn't realize that I was playing the game. It looked that damn good.
It does look good.
Yeah. Oh my God. And I'm like, wow.
And this is coming from someone that didn't download it, don't care.
Yeah. I mean, San Diego, y'all doing your thing, man. Shout out to Sony being a first party developer on the Microsoft platform.
We go.
I feel really good about your contribution.
I'm done.
And you guys are really hitting it out the park, no pun intended. I've been playing. No, I didn't time you when you was talking about 4 to 8 people doing stupid stuff.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So at the same time, I also was playing Outriders with all the crashes and all the stuff that's going on.
You're not naked yet?
No, I've never got hit with that bug. Sorry that you did.
Did they not fix that yet? I thought they.
I'm still out there.
No, they didn't give him his clothes.
Kick me
He
out.
refuses to interact with the game
That's
because
right.
he lost his stuff. And I told him I will
I
go there,
would
put the
I'm
training
good.
wheels
I'm
on
good.
him and help him.
You can't rob me and then try to convince me to go back to the seat of the crowd.
I feel you.
No, but
You naked and afraid. I feel you.
So that's that been it.
That's it. And little things that consume in Game Pass. That's about it.
No doubt. And of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito. Telling you the realest of the... Who is that in the chat? Sorry, I got distracted. Tell you the realest of the ILP. Not telling you what you want to hear, what you need to hear. What's up, Alec?
I was about to say, did you finish your old intro?
I know.
got distracted by the chat. They having me dying in slow-mo. There's a couple people just making me laugh right now. I apologize. Anyway,
Unprofessional.
Unprofessional. Shout out to the last word, man. Definitely a great show. We had one of these my boy Lord Pigeon, Destiny Scottish streamer, very funny, hilarious, man. Check him out if you missed it, man. I've been on that. Obviously, Returnal, been rocking that. And Yakuza Like a Dragon, I am completely invested in this shareholders mini game. I'm building businesses. I'm not even finishing the game. I'm just stuck in this mode. So it's been that and trying to get to the #1 company. But yeah, that's been really. Oh yeah, that's just second extension, and I threw Destiny back on. Get a little Guardian games at the end before next week's blowout. So Solve real quick. Anything you want to do now, or you want to wait?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it real quick now. Yeah. So as you guys know, we had a Gleam IO contest running, which we sat. Apologies because we have forgotten to mention it the past couple of weeks. But we had a contest running for a free copy of Resident Evil Village. And once again, much love to the king of the band hammers, Lord Snaldo, having to sift through many a fraudulent entry to come out with the winner.
Right.
So the winner of our Resident Evil Village giveaway on the console of your choice or PC is
drum roll excitement.
Lord Pecan Fusion.
Oh, Pecan Fusion, let's go. That's a real one. That's a real one.
That's a real person. Yes, that is indeed a real person.
That's not a bot. That's what's up.
So once again, big shout out to Pecan Fusion. I'm assuming you want an Xbox code, but I'll get at you in the DMs later and to square that away. So congratulations.
There's only an Xbox code. If you want a PlayStation code, I have to send you currency.
We're just gonna have to send you credits, because PlayStation is not about that.
Hold on, real quick. Shout out to whoever is anonymous. He just got that NetGator. That's right. Make sure you do whatever you do responsibly with that, and don't use the Lord's name in vain. Continue. Anything else, sir?
No, that is it for this week. We will get to Patreon and stuff next week.
All right, cool. So we finally got our 5-hour intros out the way in the business.
It only took 20 minutes. I'm proud of
That's
us.
proud. Usually we're 30 minutes. That is true. Now we got to what the Lord's
30 minutes. That's being kind too.
Yeah, we do. But I want to focus on Lord Jeff Grubb, his video game system history, his journey into games journalism and VentureBeat, and of course, the creation of the content creator channel, The Games Mess, Jeff Grubb's Game Mess. So, Lord Jeff, man, let's start from the very beginning. What were some of the first video games you had? What got you into gaming?
Yeah, I was young. I had older brothers, and they somehow got a ColecoVision in the house, and it was the ColecoVision adapter that you plugged into the Intellivision. I think that was right.
Expansion deck.
Yeah, the expansion thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, and you plug it in the front, and then so we got but mostly the Coleco games because they were way better. They were way more graphically advanced than the stuff that was on television stuff. Yes, it was, and it was great, but I was very, very young, so I messed around with that stuff a little bit.
Okay.
But I wanted games. I wanted video games. I was into games, but my parents, my older brothers, knew that. So when my 5th birthday came around, my older brother Sean, who wanted to get the game as well, talked my parents into hey, I think if I pay for half and you pay for half, can we get Jeff a Nintendo Entertainment System for his birthday? It was great. So they did this they called it Under the Rainbow, is this thing where I had to go around the house and find clues, and eventually there was a broken in half hula hoop that they made us the rainbow, and in the bathtub underneath there was the Nintendo. It was great. So we plugged that in, we played that all night. What's that?
What's crazy, Lord Jeff? That single purchase they did started your whole career.
I mean, absolutely, it did 100%. Like it came with Super Mario Brothers, it came with Duck Hunt, and Super Mario Brothers is just it was so important to me. It was like, this feels like it's not just like, oh, I'm moving a little a dot on the screen anymore. Right. This is like I am controlling a person that has physics that makes sense to me as a person that lives in the world. This little guy, he runs, and his momentum carries forward. And if I run faster, he'll jump further and he'll jump higher. And all that stuff clicked with my brain in such a visceral way. Then I never got over it. And that's exactly been my whole life ever since. It's just like recapturing that feeling. But yeah, I stayed up late playing that. My brothers stayed up even later. They stayed up all night playing Mario. But then, yeah, it was just like years of trying to get games for the Nintendo. Birthdays and Christmas, of course, those are the only times you really got games. But then you would trade with friends and stuff like that. And it was just the best. It was great. And then I was a Nintendo fanboy for most of my youth. I was in the little Nintendo kids just couldn't get enough of I was definitely on like AOL chat rooms earlier, like defending Nintendo and stuff. I was a little shit. But yeah, and then eventually just got to the point where I'm like, I'm not just like really into games. I also like talking about games and hearing people talk about games. Yeah. And I got really into video game magazines.
Hold on,
and
I know where you're going. I just want back here 1 second.
Please.
Because in the Nintendo, the thing we don't talk about a lot is Nintendo Power. Were you part of that whole influence when that publication came out? And then also, did you just stay entirely in the Nintendo ecosystem for a long while? Or did you eventually expand out, with other consoles? So I'm going to ask those questions first.
Yeah, no, please. Yeah, so I mostly, because, I would get to ask for like one console every so often, like every 5 years or something like that. So when I had the choice, I would choose Nintendo. But my friends normally would pick something else because we would hang out a lot and I'd go to his house and play Genesis and stuff like that. I didn't start getting other stuff. Like when the PlayStation started coming out, I would get a PlayStation like much later after it came out. Same with the PlayStation 2, not quite as late, but like when Shadow of the Colossus came out, I definitely had the PlayStation 2 by then. Okay. But I was I was always curious about all the other games. I was always curious about all the other systems. And while I really enjoyed Nintendo, I was less interested in like reading Nintendo Power than I was reading about like the console agnostic video game magazines, because I wanted to see what else was out there. I wanted to know what was happening. And so that stuff always appealed to me more.
Which was your favorite, EGM or Game Pro?
EGM.
Okay. All right.
That's the Bible.
Yeah. I mean that's no joke. Really, why I have this job. Dan Hsu was the editor-in-chief of EGM magazine. I eventually, when he left EGM to go start BitMob, I wrote a blog there. Eventually, they asked me to come volunteer there. And when Dan Hsu left to go work at VentureBeat, he eventually hired me, and I've been there ever since.
So, what about Game Fan? Did you ever dabble in Game Fan? I mean, that was a premium book for us at that time, and it was also like $2 more than the other books. So a lot of people either they was heavy into Game Fan, or they weren't. So
I read some Game Fan when I could find it. That for some reason, where I grew up in Michigan, it was hard to find Game Fan, and I don't know why. But like I was really into Game Players was the other one. EGM was my top one.
EGM was the
Game
top.
Players. Game Players and Ultra Game Players, I really love that. The editor of Game Players for a long time, Chris, and I can't remember his last name right now, but he's the guy that runs the Nintendo Power podcast for Nintendo right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was like shocked. I wonder whatever happened to that guy. Oh, he's like working for Nintendo now. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But it was, it was just at a certain point, I just wanted all the games I could possibly get, and I just wanted everything. Nice. But yeah, my console past is mostly Nintendo, and then I got an Xbox when it came out, and then the Xbox 360 is actually when I was like, okay, no, I'm over being a Nintendo fanboy. It's always going to be like my nostalgia, my heart. I'm still in my soul. I'm still kind of that Nintendo kid. But once the 360 started coming out, and especially Call of Duty 4, that's what I'm like, man, this is the shit. That's not. I played for the Lord. Oh yeah, please.
No worries, for the little lords, for the little.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah,
for the children.
So, I'm sorry, kiddies. I'm so sorry. I played thousands of hours of Call of Duty, thousands of hours of all the sequels to that for years. And then after that point, it was like, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna get everything. Now I have all the consoles, of course. And I wouldn't just because of my job. I would have all the consoles no matter what.
But I got a question. question. Which console did you get into retro console buying, or did you just got the future the consoles that were current? You went to retro yet?
So I really like playing old games. I really like playing retro stuff, but it's I am a big advocate of emulating old games.
I'm with you.
I am very much like, hey, these games are even if you find a way to buy them, most of the time that money's not going to the people that made it. Yeah. And you, if you're someone who's really into games, if you're someone who like wants to like understand the history, you almost have a right to go back and just download the stuff on the internet, put it on your computer, put it on a RetroPie, and just emulate it and experience it and find ways to play these games no matter what, because it's almost like our new digital library. And, to that point, you can go to the library and get a lot of games, but older games, it's a little bit more difficult. Instead, just go online, go to archive.org, the literal library of the internet. And a lot of this stuff is just there. Download those ROMs and go to town and play them. And my computer upstairs on the TV is a complete retro gaming system. I have a RetroArch set up with, it's got all the like everything for Dreamcast, everything for Saturn, everything for PlayStation. I mean, I was just playing Einhander again the other day. A great Square Enix shooter. I think it was just Squaresoft back then. But it's collecting stuff. I'm like, I have to like stop myself from doing that because I feel the urge to collect old stuff, but it never makes me happy. Like I'm never happy when I've done it. I'm like, I gotta it's just scratching an itch, and that's not. I have to avoid.
After that, you're like, why did I do this?
And it's just collecting dust.
Another itch. You just get another itch you got to scratch, and I have to stop myself from doing that. So, and I find that emulating is a very good way to do that.
No doubt. Solve, do we approve of this retro collection? You're the Lord of Retro collection.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I have given up. I've given up the idea that I'm going to take my games with me when I die. So I play them. However it's presented to me.
Whatever methods are presented.
Even if I have to seek out, other means to do that.
It's so much more important for humans to have experiences than to have objects. We think that objects are going to make us happy, and all the research tells us that experiences are what actually make us happy. And video games, playing them, that's the experience. That's the important thing.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, like in terms of the whole, emulation thing, like, let's be real here. A lot of these older games, you ain't finding those in stores. Like unless you do some shady tactics. Like how else are you gonna play them?
I just wanted to know what was his since he was a Nintendo boy, if he did go back, what was the game that he wanted to play? Like, because it's little consoles that are in the side, like Neo Geo or Turbo Graphics and stuff like that weren't readily available to the populace. And I just wanted to know, like, did you reach out and get it? But since that you do emulations, you did everything.
Yeah, Panzer Dragoon Saga was a big one of those. Like to that point, I was like, man, I remember reading the review. I bet the review must have been an EGM, and I'm like, man, they love this game. I can't wait to try it someday, and never really trying it for years and years and years. And then when it got pretty easy to emulate, finally, it took a long time for them to get that down. I played through most of it. I didn't finish it. I actually still have it on the system upstairs, like the save ready to go. And I'd like to finish it, but I really enjoyed what I played of it. There was a few others, but mostly it was just like even some like weird games, like Tabal number 1 or whatever.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, like 60 FPS. 60
FPS
on the PlayStation.
That was the first time. It was smooth. It wasn't texture shaded. It was smooth shaded. But the way the movement was, that's the first time we saw 60 frames per second.
Yes.
Whatchamacallit in the 3D arena, and the PlayStation brought that to it. That's what sold me on the PlayStation.
I remember that game. That was a eye opener. I said, good.
Yeah, that's when I was like, I'm in.
And it's cool to go back because like I played a lot of Nintendo 64 games. I still prefer Nintendo 64, Wave Race and 1080, some of my favorite games of all time.
Wave Race.
Yeah, I'll play Wave Race every day of my life. But going back and like realizing like it wasn't just these weren't the same console. They like treated their visuals and the way that they presented graphics differently. One was very fast, and that was the PlayStation, and there was a lot of texture warping, and it looks weird, but now it actually kind of looks cool. And Nintendo 64 was much better at handling like like Z depth, like it knew where its textures were in 3D space much better, like that helped. But it was also it also has that fuzzy feeling, and the graphics were just overall like slower. So it's like a lot of games, maybe they were 60 frames per second, but most of the time it was 30 frames per second. And but PlayStation had a lot of 60 frames per second games. And it's like, man, this is cool to go back to and see how like Ridge Racer Type 4.
Bro,
I've been playing that.
Changed the game when we first saw it, brother.
Yeah, it's like there's a Ridge Racer in the 64, and it's like this feels sluggish compared to that. It's like, okay, so I see. It wasn't as fast. It's like it's cool to go back and like see these differences and like actually understand them now. So I've done a lot of that.
We were reading inside the magazines, like we would get the magazines and we would hear about the GPUs and the CPUs and the custom this and the custom that, and being that the Nintendo was at a lower clock speed, the 64 was at a lower clock speed, and the PlayStation was at an actual higher clock speed. We didn't understand the words. Well, I didn't understand the words back then, but it translated in the games, because if you played something like Wipeout versus something like F-Zero was really fast, but then Wipeout had more textures and stuff going on in the world. It was equally as fast. So we understood then. That's when we was learning the differences of CPU, GPUs, and stuff like that. And those magazines brought that to us.
I mean, but today everything's the same, right? Like the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are mostly the same.
No, I feel you, man. Shout out to those references, man. You brought it back. Toval, Wave Ray. I forgot about Wave Ray.
It's the best thing about emulation, man. Like Excitebike 64 is a game I'm like in love with right now. Like that, it was like. The Nintendo 64 was really good at extreme sports games, other than Tony Hawk, which played better on PlayStation. But like, I'm like, I love Wave Race and 1080, but I never really played Excitebike 64 back then. And now going back and be like, oh, this is just another classic vehicle-based sports game from this time. And it's like, wow, they nailed it right away. And it's so interesting because it's like, okay, yeah, sure, Mario 64. You point to this, okay, they nailed 3D platformers right out of the gate. But they were nailing like water physics with Wave Race 64 right out, immediately.
I think the water physics in 64 still looks better than Wave Race GameCube.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, and but it's like, how did they do? They are magicians. They might be wizards, evil wizards, maybe.
What was crazy is, I think they asked Miyamoto, the people for Crash Bandicoot, how did he do his water physics to get it like to look like that? Because right after that, Crash Bandicoot had those water physics, and that was equally impressive, but it wasn't as impressive as Wave.
No, I mean nothing
was to none.
Man. When you went under and came back up,
and you could feel it, like you could feel the vehicle fighting you to push you back up, because you're so buoyant, and it's like, okay, oh my god, I'm under. Oh shit, I'm sorry. You get thrown up in the air. It feels so fantastic. I really love those games, and so Excitebike 64 right now, just going back and trying it and being like, okay, this is another banger. I'm really enjoying that. And so just emulate, just go out and emulate, just try stuff. I advocate that.
No doubt, man. A lot of good gaming history, man. Gonna move forward a little bit because we can talk all day about these great games. Want to get into your journey into game journalism? Like, obviously, as a gamer, you get this system, you know what I mean? You're by the family, you're introduced to this whole world, you know what I'm saying, of Nintendo and then other systems. So it's like, what then said, okay, I want to do this? Was it the influence of like what I consider the golden era, like the EGMs and all that around you? What made you say, hey, I want to get into this?
Yeah, it was those, it was like seeing the people in EGM and being like, I want to be among those people. They seem cool. They seem like they're having fun at their job. They seem like they take it seriously, that they have a really fundamental understanding. They lead the conversation around games. And I was always interested in that. And then when they started their podcast early on, like EGM and like One Up, like One Up Yours and stuff like that, it was like, oh, they are having the conversations that I wish I could be having. And it's like, I looked around, like my friends weren't quite into it in the same way. And I would feel guilty to bring up games, so I just wouldn't. But so like listening to those conversations was very formative. It was very important to me. And again, it made me want to be among those people. Nice. And so I started looking into it. I started a blog on oneup.com, which was like the online portal for EGM and stuff like that. And that a great community, a lot of great people who were on One Up at the same time as me. A lot of them work in video games now. And it was fun. It was cool to kind of come up and like build this community. And what I realized over time was it's cool to have the goal of like wanting to be among those cool people that you idolize. But what actually helped me What actually made the difference was building that community of my own as I was coming up, being a part of that community and making connections with the people that were also headed in the same direction me, but were at the same level as me, because trying to get into a clique that already exists, it never works, right? You gotta make your own clique. Right. And what happened was the people I was making my own clique with, some of them would get a job, and then when they needed help, one of them was at Bitmob and said, "Hey Jeff, come help me." And at this time I had given up on really trying to pursue this thing. I had like a small little job at a site called combo.com for a little bit. It was paying me $200 a month to write a few stories a week. And I enjoyed that. It was, I was working at like Subway and Jimmy John's and all this other stuff at the same time.
John's getting them
sandwiches.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
I would have ordered mad sandwiches from you, fam. Continue.
Yeah. And I worked at this pizza place on Ohio State campus when I was living there around that area, and they would pay me like the minimum wage for a tipped employee, but then they get so few deliveries that I actually like was making less than minimum wage. And when I brought it up, they fired me.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I was just in a bad way. I was in a bad place. And then my buddy who I made, like, we made a podcast as part of the Bitmob community together. Yeah. And then that fell apart when he went to actually go and volunteer as part of the core group at Bitmob. When he needed help to write some news stories for Bitmob to make sure content was coming out, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll come do that. And nice. If that guy didn't reach back because we had a connection and because he knew I was passionate, if I had never built that connection in the first place, I would not be here. So it's hard work, but everyone works hard. That's the thing I realized. You look around, everybody's working hard. You've worked hard, and sometimes things just don't work out. Right. The other side of it is always just that luck and those connections, and making sure that you are building those connections with people around you that are in the same place as you, because you're all going in the same direction. And when someone gets ahead, just look back, pull some steps forward.
Talk about it. That's so important, brother.
That's the one piece of advice I always give to people when they're like, "Hey, how do I get into this job?" I'm like, look around, see other people who are in the same place as you, make those connections right now, and keep those connections, and it really pays off.
I think what it is, Jeff, is the industry's become so cutthroat that people are too scared to do I hit this person up? He might think I'm just hitting him up because he's going that same direction too. They might think that person. Yeah, it's sad too, because it's this should be an entity where we're picking each other up. There's plenty of room for everyone, but I feel like
some people don't see that.
I feel like people see a lot of people as okay, you might not be really competition to me now, but if I put this dude in the spotlight, is he going to be later?
Some people look at it.
It's a fair. We don't we don't feel like that. Right. We spotlight everyone, be you big, be you small, be you whatever, it doesn't matter, because Jeff says, you're supposed to reach back. I come from the era of each one teach one. You're supposed to spread knowledge. You don't hoard it. I mean, you're not going to get your blessings that way anyway. So what you do is, if you're in a position to help, you help. And that's what goes a long way. I think that's a whole lot better philosophy than you in a position of helping and you're looking and you don't. I don't think you're going to get any blessings in that manner.
I've always respected Lord Azrak Gaming.
Yes,
because
Attic,
your mic is low, bro. It's really low.
I can't help it.
Like he's on Prozac today.
Can you hear me?
I hear him okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he said one thing to me that I'll never forget. I was talking to him, and he's like, I've always had the mentality, I want to bring my friends up around me. He's like, because there's nothing worse than getting all the fame, getting all the money, and all your friends are broke. They can't do nothing with it.
Facts.
So, I'm selfish in that manner. I'm selfish in that manner because I like to go to the restaurant or the Lobster. I like to eat well. So if I have friends that only have Burger King money, that's not cool, right? Because I'm going to eat my food, and I don't like to share either. So I want you to be rich too.
So you don't force me to come down to your level.
No doubt. No, I respect it. It's very, very valid point, and I love what you said there, Jeff, because that's important. It's about these connections, about these people you make, and like you said, once you get to a position, it's always cool to kind of pull your peers forward, as well as you have been. You know what I'm saying?
You'll be surprised on being less competitive in a way like that, because I feel like some of that's competition, because they're really competitive.
Right.
And you'll be surprised on like doing stuff like that in the future. It drives you forward, and you end up captivating both of you way further than either one of you could have done by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this is a point that I think is really important. That the competition thing is almost an illusion. We are very rarely actually competing. It is very rarely a zero-sum game where if I succeed, it's because you lost. It's not how it works. It is almost always if I'm succeeding more because someone else is succeeding more, and it's not just like, oh, they're bringing me forward. It is they are creating an atmosphere that people want to be a part of, and then when those people want to like come in and like talk about games and like learn about games and want to learn how gaming works as a business or whatever, if someone else is causing that audience to be created, that's an audience that's going to start looking around for more of that stuff, and they're going to want to find other people where they can get that from, and it's almost only a positive. It's almost only a benefit. There is no just one person in charge situation. This is a situation where everyone sort of benefits from the more people coming into the space. And so yeah, I like there is some competition, but it's almost always it's also something you can't really control. Like I feel like everything I do right now gets turned into a news story, and I had that was never a plan. That was never something I'm like, I'm going to do something, so that's how it ends up. Like I have no control over this, and so like, what can I control? I can control the people that I choose to associate with, the people that I choose to talk to, the people that I can also try to bring up with me, and that stuff is also I'm getting dividends from that as well, where it's like I am creating the environment I want to exist in, and that's been the other side of this that I've actually enjoyed much more than like weird headlines all the time.
And that's why I've always gave my respects out, like regardless how you feel about BG and his opinions on Twitter, because I know they're very hot. Like the dude has always put people on. It don't matter who you are, it don't matter what content you put. He's like, look, if you want a spotlight, you can have it on Weapon World. No one can ever take that from that man. No one.
There's a lot of content peers that we see do that, and the Lords definitely subscribe to that, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, how big or small. If we see talent, you got a passion for video games, you love it, you're gonna be on, as long as you're respectful. Chat, I see y'all in there wilding, y'all gotta calm down, but long as you guys can have intelligent discussion with each other, not name call and be disrespectful, then we can agree to disagree, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
I think that's where we lose a lot of people, is for some reason they feel like, I feel like the competitive thing comes back in that, because when they're arguing, the debating, they feel like if all else fails, I'll just disrespect them. And I feel like that needs to change.
This is defense mechanisms for human beings, though, where you are trying. It's not just like how I'm going to spend my money, it's how you're going to spend your time, and these are very, very precious resources to people. Time is such a precious resource, and I experienced this myself. And the example I always use is Marvel versus DC stuff. I grew up loving Superman and Batman and stuff, but when the Marvel movies started getting really good, I'm like, I'm going to invest my time into this. And so when the DC movies come out and they're like, oh, I also want your time and your thoughts, and like I want you to think about this stuff, I'm like, oh, these look like trash. I'm like, why do I feel that way? Why am I responding this way? And it's a defense mechanism. I don't want to have this other like movie universe like taking up more of my time and my brain space, and so I automatically like reject it without really thinking about it, because I want to focus on this thing that I know I already like. And and also it's cool to have everyone else around me be like, oh, I want to talk about the thing you like as well.
Tribalism.
And so and so if other people start saying, well, I'm going to go get in this DC thing, like, no, don't do that. It's like feels like it's invalidating to me. And these are very base, tribal instincts that you have to fight against, you have to recognize, and really a lot of people don't have the time or energy to even like recognize that this
it's funny, because for me it's the complete opposite. I have so little time but I want to do everything, and it's just like I want everything. I don't want to miss out on anything. So like that's why I say I'm a collector of games now, because it is the FOMO. It's like I don't want to miss out on this conversation, but I know damn well I'm not going to touch this game for months, and it doesn't matter though. Like for me, I'm thankfully for me anyway, I've never had that where I'm just like,
Yo,
I'm not gonna hate on this. I'm gonna hate on this.
Okay, I just gotta read one of those super chats because I was gonna ask you anyway about your hair, and I was gonna go into what's your hair product. I know you get this all the damn time, but this dude already beat me to it. He said your secret hair product is Sony fanboy tears.
Oh my god!
And I just thought that was absolutely ridiculously funny. And I know we're supposed to read everybody's super chat. Absolutely sorry. I knew I did it out
You'll
of
get yours read twice, my dude.
but it was funny as hell to me.
Anyway, we get to the rest of it. But look, valid point. And I especially about tribalism, especially about, again, this emotional connection where people just can't enjoy what they like, but they have to go out of their way to tell you why what you like is wrong and all this other stuff. And
I mean that fear of missing out that we were talking about, like you want to experience everything sovereign. It applies in the other direction though, where if people say that I like this other thing and it's something that you've decided, like I'm trying not to want to feel like I want to play that because otherwise I will have that FOMO or I'll have to spend more time or my money to play that thing. Right. It's a powerful force, and it's something that it's something where I try not to begrudge too many, especially like kids when they're acting this way. They have trouble regulating their emotions. That's not a dig. I was that same way till I was like 26.
No, there's a lot of grown kids on Twitter. There's a lot of grown kids.
But there are a lot of grown men who are very embarrassing on Twitter. Yes, absolutely. But it, when they're younger, I try not to begrudge them too much. Right. These are things that are hard to deal with, and really a lot of people aren't put in situations where they're forced to recognize these feelings inside themselves. And it's like because this is like their leisure activity, and so like they're trying not to like be too analytical about it. But it could still it's something that most people still need to face. I think.
Well, a lot of men don't want to dig into their feelings anyway.
Absolutely.
What I've noticed too is I think a lot of it has to do with like influencers and stuff on YouTube. People really vibe with like their favorite influencer, and before you know it, like they have subconsciously like put all their views to that person's views. It's like, oh, this person doesn't like
opinions.
This person doesn't like Xbox. I can't like Xbox.
Right.
This person doesn't like PlayStation, so I can't like PlayStation.
Gang mentality.
I hope my followers do not, or my fellow friends do not think I don't like PlayStation. So don't be out there screaming, we hate PlayStation because I think King David hates it. No. Don't do that.
You don't want them storming the castle?
No, do not do that. No.
I'm pretty sure.
That I gotta listen.
You know they not listening to that.
I know, right?
I'm pretty sure all your followers had that mentality long before.
They go like this. They go, okay.
Oh my God.
It's a wink, wink. We know. You're trying to be diplomatic.
Time in front of company. Anyway, look, we got more because a lot of stuff I want to talk about. So look, the reporting aspect, Lord Jeff, I wanted to talk to you about that. And obviously, we know a lot of things come across your desk, and I just wanted to ask you, like, what are some of the more fun, like, reveals or scoops that you may have sat on in the past that, many have known? And then, how did you react to that, seeing people react to that? And then also bad experiences of maybe, getting some stuff early and stuff like that. Like, just the scoop aspect.
Yeah, honestly, like a lot of stuff is like hard to like recall exactly, but I mean, I'll go to like one example for the bad side of things. Obviously Elden Ring, where it's like I got the trailer really early, the leak trailer, but like a long time before anyone else had it, and I was not supposed to put it out there, and so I agreed to that, and I had that, and I had like other snippets of information that made me overly confident to say like something was going to happen by the end of March, and I'm like, this seems right. I'm going to put it out there. I never put it in a story or anything like that, but I'm like, I'll say it on Twitter. I'll say it in my podcast or whatever. And it was like, oh, okay. I was like conflating a couple of things, and that leak trailer was not exactly what I thought it was. And I still think something's going to happen by E3, but it was the stuff that I was hearing that was saying like, oh, soon. I made a mistake, and it's like those mistakes are like they're so easy to make, so you have to be so vigilant about them. And that's like the thing where it's like, oh man, okay, this job. First of all, I'm writing about video games. It's sort of like this silly hobby, and I recognize that. But you still have to take all of these things that I'm learning very seriously, because a lot of people base a lot of their life around it. Like there are a lot of like really hardcore Elden Ring fans who just are dying for this stuff, and they lose their minds, and it's like, you know, I did them dirty. I told them something that wasn't accurate, and it's like all I could do was like, man, I apologize, messed up. That's not how I try to do things, and then to like reassess and like look at the way that I present information going forward. It's like, okay, I've got a couple of like solid sources, people that if I ask them for sure, if they tell me they know, then I know they know, and I can run everything else that I learn like from like people who are coming at me in my DMs out of nowhere and say, hey, what do you think about this? And if these solid people don't hear about it, it's like, no, I'm just never going to talk about it ever. Not even going to even mention it. Like just completely stay quiet about it. But like right now, like it's a lot of stuff in terms of like the good side of things. It's like once it happens, it's like it's almost out of my brain. But the one I do remember is the Nintendo Direct back last March, and this is like kind of before I was like blowing up and stuff. This is in March of 2020. Nintendo hadn't done a Direct in a while, and I was like saying, hey, when's gonna happen later this week? When's gonna happen later this week? Okay, when's gonna happen tomorrow? And all that day I remember I was getting sick to my stomach, like, why isn't Nintendo saying this? He's like, what's going on? You supposed to bust this scoop. yeah, and like people are like, oh, Jeff, there was no announcement today that there's a Direct tomorrow. And so I was like, you know what, I know there's gonna be one, because if they don't do it, they are screwing over so many partners. So I just went on Twitter, I'm like, it's still gonna happen tomorrow.
Oh, chest out.
Yeah, chest out. Yeah, like it's still happening tomorrow. And people are like, oh man, okay, ride or die. Like, ride or die. Ride or die for this. And we woke up the next morning and Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct Mini. But it was like, yeah, this is what I said was gonna happen. It was like when it was like, you know, that I put that GIF where that guy comes in with like all his Indian soldiers and he's like dancing. Like, that's how I felt. So that was a great one. That's the one I always point back to. But most of the time right now I'm like, it is fun to have like the story that like only I have so far, and that's the Kojima thing.
Yes, fire. Like, that was a big one.
Yeah, and it's like I know, like I know. I wouldn't. I put it in a story because I know. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and it's cool to be like, other people are like, oh, I guess like people that usually are in the know, they're like, I mean, I don't know about that one, but it's like, yeah, hey, it's happening. They're definitely in talks at least, and it's like, and I'm pretty sure it's going to end up going the right way, and they're going to come together. But it's like with that, it's like, okay, now I have to like walk this fine line where. Okay, it's happening, but the contracts are like still like being negotiated, and that stuff's probably not going to get done in time for E3. So when E3 comes, people are like, "There was no announcement, Jeff. It's not happening." And I'm like, "Okay, it's probably not going to happen in E3. Let's recognize that." But remember, Jeff Keighley's got his thing at the end of the year, and where does Kojima normally do stuff?
Yeah, like, I've been on record for saying that. that's one aspect of the move that people are understating.
You know what I've learned, Jeff?
Yes.
Because looking in the DMs, and I'm in a lot of groups, I'm just a little silent dude in the corner just reading stuff posted, right? And what I like to do is I like to give my what if scenarios, knowing something that I know, but I'm like, you know, what if this happened in this manner? This would be great. Without really saying anything, I could just say stuff like that, because a lot of times, you know, they get the dates wrong or they get the periods wrong, but the information is true. And I just sometimes it's just not my place. Like, I'm not in a position that you're in to say stuff of that manner, right? So me personally, if I say something, I got a Twitter dude that will get buck bananas with it and just go crazy.
King said,
you're not beholden to anything, right?
But see, at the same time, it's a quiet thing in those groups. What is said here is said here, and you know, you don't have to say after you post something, you put something in the group, keep this here. You don't have to say that, because the people that's in those rooms are quiet people, you know, but they do their stuff. So I just sit there and watch, but I know the stuff that you're sitting on, and the Kojima thing really piques my interest because I have this weird scenario in my head with
we get into it with the hot stove talk. We got hot stove. We gonna move. Oh, sorry, you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I just want to get one more question before we move on. But so basically now, obviously, respected games journalists, you know, you're doing this for a while, holding down Venture Beat, Games Beat section, you know what I mean, doing that stuff. And what I think is interesting is just like, you know, you being you, but also dabbling into content creation. So I wanted to talk about those two podcasts you have, because one is obviously Games Beat the Side. Shout out to your man, was it Mike Minotti? And then one that is really cool that I don't think you get enough credit for is How Games Make Money. And I really appreciated that. I think you had Rainway on. You talking about the cloud tech.
Actually, I saw multiple podcasts reference that. Yes,
very informative. And I just wanted to focus on like what inspired both of those and just getting into content creation, the podcast space.
Yeah, the Games Beat the Science I wanted to do because I am a big fan of Mike Minotti, my coworker. He for years he did this podcast with his brother, Exploding Barrel Podcast, and it's always been a small podcast. They actually just ended it after I think more than 10 years, but they did a lot of episodes, and I always listened to that. They were in the One Up community with me as well, and so it was like it's cool to like come up alongside your boy like that. Like I am coming up alongside Mike Minotti this whole time, and I like this podcast, and I'm like, I got a chance to do this podcast with him. I think he's like just kind of like a natural sort of personality, and I'm like, I want to just let's hang out like every Friday and let's do a podcast together. And we did one for a really long time, Games Beat the Sides, and then in the last year, of course, it started to grow and get an audience and stuff like that. And we do it live on YouTube now, and it's really just a chance for us to like talk about what happened in games in the last week and like talk about the news. We really like that stuff. And it's cool just to hang out and like have our sort of banter back and forth and have the chat have the chat, get involved with that stuff and have fun. And like, you know, whenever he's like gonna like, you know, give me the smoke and like this is great. I want this to be the attitude that the podcast has. And then How Games Make Money is I really like asking questions to people who know a lot more than me about the way games work and the way games actually make money.
We share that, brother. We share that. I'm all cool with learning. No one here says that we are this information based, and it's great to get these experiences. So continue to talk about that because I love what you're doing with that.
It's too many armchair.
Too many armchair developers. Oh, I know how it works. All the developers should have done is blah blah blah. Continue.
and I want to speak from a place of more authority, but I found like, well, one of the ways to do that is just to ask people like the questions that I have, that like the very basic questions a lot of times. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start this show, and How Games Make Money is just it's really an excuse to bring people on to pick their brains and say, hey, how does your business actually make the money? Like, what are your motivations here? And like, how does it relate to the people who are playing your games or the people that are using your services? And what should they know about that? And how do you like think about them in terms of like, are they like a resource to exploit and you're actually making money from something else? Right. And how should people feel about that? And I think that it is a lot of times it could be very dry, but a lot of time, almost always, you're going to learn something new about someone working in games and make it work. And a lot, I've talked to like a lot of content creators who are like, I'm just trying to make YouTube work and it's going okay, but like we're realizing like we got to branch out, and like a lot of anxiety around being on someone else's platform like Google and how they could change things. And just having those conversations has been really illuminating to me. And I want to keep it. So now anytime that like we get pitches in my inbox from like PR and they're like, hey, do you want to interview this person? I'm like, yeah, can we talk on the podcast though? Because I'm gonna like have people actually hear it. And so it's like been like a really good resource for that, because it's like a lot of times I'll get chances to do interviews, and that's just a lot of work to just turn into a text interview on the site. And I don't like doing just the question answer thing on the site. I try to take that and turn it into a narrative sort of story on the site, and that's a lot more work. But it's like if I'm just doing that, it's almost not worth it. If I could do that in conjunction with making it this How Games Make Money podcast, it's just so much more valuable to more people. So yeah, it's been great, and I really like it.
Love it, man. Keep it up, brother. Again, very informative. I advise anyone who has not heard it to take a look. I was definitely blown away by it's very relaxed. Like I like the format. It's cool. You get right to the chase, cut to the chase sometimes with specifics. And it's good dynamic, good interaction, man. So we got a lot more to talk about. So before we do that and get into the topics, we got to ask the question, right? The question that we ask all the guests in the realm. I need that top 5 video game or franchises of all time for Lord Jeff Grubb.
I am terrible at recalling information, but I've thought about this enough in my life to be able to come up with something. So, I grew up a Nintendo fanboy, right? So if I could just do franchise, that'll be easier. So Mario and Zelda. Definitely. I think the Igavania, Castlevania games from so all the Game Boy Advance and DS ones. And you know what we were talking about earlier? Let's make that a franchise. The Nintendo 64 Extreme Sports games.
Okay.
Yeah. So Wave Race 1080, Excite Bike 64. That's 4. Yeah. And then number 5, and it'll probably be actually higher if I was ranking stuff. But it's a game called Eco. Yeah, it's an early access game on PC. This game is special. It is it's a Minecraft sort of thing, but it's an educational game. Okay. And it's a game where they are trying to teach young people mostly about ecological the ecological things that you can be done when you are trying to do something else. So your actions have consequences. Gotcha. And the setup is there's an asteroid coming to your planet. It's a shared world. You're working with other real players, and in 30 real world days, 30 actual human days, that asteroid's going to hit the planet. So you need to work together to find a way to stop this asteroid. And so the way it works is you all specialize into different areas on the tech tree, and you have to specialize, and then you have to work together. So like to the point where later in the thing, like I was able to build oil refineries and oil drilling platforms, but I didn't have the skills to actually efficiently use them. Right. So I would have to go out and find people who could use them, and I could either do it so that I could set up where to use it. These people who did specialize in oil drilling, they could either pay me to use the platforms, or I could just make a deal with them and they could just use it for free or whatever. Right. And really, we were trying to like that's the other side. Like you are building this in-game economy yourself as the players and making these decisions, and you have to actually like figure like are we going to be a collectivist society, or are we going to try to leverage the aspects of capitalism that make people want to like work together? It was I like literally caused the financial collapse in the game.
It was either a barter system or capitalism.
Yeah. Barter, but it's like, you know, bartering's always like a front for like debts. Like everyone like barter, like really when you barter something, it's like, okay, I'm gonna give you something, but really you're gonna owe me. Like I might not have something to give you back right now, but you're gonna owe me. So it's like in the game, like yeah, well, you recognize that like now you owe me something, so now you have a debt, and now I'm going to collect on that eventually. But like, but like there, you could also like I had like a store, in-game store, and I had before we had a world like global currency, you could have your store currency, and my store got to be the biggest and got to be so everyone was using my currency. But I could create as much amount of my currency as I want. And, Grub bucks. It's absolutely what we call them. And so Grub bucks. Yeah, exactly. And so I had control of this, and I recognized like, you know what? If I can sort of control the economy like this, the economy is broken, and I shouldn't have this much power. And so I want to move everyone to our global currency, which is backed by the in-game gold. You have to like turn the gold and mint it into this coin, which made it. I mean, it's inherently scarce and more valuable.
But he secretly has an entire chest full.
The other side, no, this is the thing is, I was like, what we should do is when we're making the switch, everyone should just get a flat amount of this money so that we stimulate the economy, so that everyone wants to use it. Other people were feeling a little bit more greedy, and they're like, actually, but I have a ton of hay pennies, or I have a ton of the grub bucks, and so shouldn't I get more? And I'm like, well, you're not recognizing that other people were contributing to the economy by bartering, by not they weren't necessarily like using grub bucks, but they were still contributing to the economy. So when we were making the switch, in order to get people off of my currency, I just flooded the market with my currency. Millions and millions to everybody. And it crashed the in-game economy. And the dude that was being the most greedy. What's the question?
I thought you was joking, Lord.
No,
do you really have a currency that's called Jeff Grubb?
Yes, absolutely.
I gotta get this game.
There's a Twitter thread about this. I'll share it to you guys. It's called
Eco,
ECO. And that's the thing. It's like, so all while we're doing this, there's also like the in-game modeling of like pollution and stuff like that. So you have to build systems to like deal with the tailings that are created when you mint something in the ironing facility. So you create actual pollution, and so we made these big mines, and everyone worked together, and it was just this beautiful thing where like we have this economy, but we're also dealing with the ecological side of things, and eventually we got to a point where I was working together with several other people to build the machines required to knock down the asteroids, and it was just
nice.
It was so special. It's such a good game. It is special. It's
that type of game. Like it doesn't look like it on like an outer base thing, but like you play that kind of game, you get kind of good at that game. Like, it's gonna teach you like about actual how the world works.
Yes,
like,
this is the thing. Like, economists are always like, economics is a real science, but we don't really know we can't ethically study economics where we try an economic system on real people. It's either it's too complicated, but you also can't mess with people's lives like that. Video games enable us to do it, and Eco is the best example ever made of a way to study and actually figure out the way that people interact with people in different economic systems. And it's like I legit learned things. We played it again, and I was like learning things about the way the in groups and out groups work, because in the second game we tried to get people from different communities to work together, and these different communities were very disparate in the way that they, like, there was a community that's very, like, I guess for lack of a better word, woke, and they were like, if you don't meet our standards of wokeness, we kind of just don't want to play with you. So we're going to make our own society. And to be fair, like, there's a guy that pretends to be a robot in my crew, and he was an asshole. And I'm sorry, he's an a-hole, and he like didn't meet their standards, and so like they like treated us all as this out group, and we were having this in group out group dynamic where it was like very difficult to get people to work together. And enabled us to explore that as well. It was.
Did the media hit in that second?
That's what I'm saying. Does the media hit is there a time constraint? This game sounds
no, it's 30 real days.
30 real
right?
world days. So
But
you
like-
got to log in every day and kind of contribute and stuff. And if you're not contributing, it's more likely that asteroid's going to hit you.
So then the 30-day cycle repeats after, and then you do another run, or?
Well, I mean, if you don't stop the asteroid in 30 days, the asteroid hits. And we did stop the asteroid, but we were control the server, so we just we did /asteroid hit or whatever, and we saw what happens. It just blows holes all over the world.
That's the question I had. That's the question I had. Like, there's servers and stuff that you can have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can run your own server.
I'm low key about to convince Cognito to do an Iron Lord podcast server, and the Iron Lord community saves the world.
Do it. And here's what I would recommend: set it to the highest possible difficulty. Set it to the highest difficulty where you have to have the most cooperation from people, because that's going to create the most friction, the most interesting dynamics. Because you don't want one person to be able to specialize in everything. You want people to have to make tough decisions and force collaboration.
It sounds absolutely amazing.
It sounds like a crazy social experiment that can go wrong in so many different ways.
Yes, it did go wrong in the second game for sure, but it was still fun.
So the group that was quote unquote woke, did you feel they were role playing, or that was just like this?
No, these are people that legitimately like feel this way, and you know, they're people that there's a lot of LGBTQ people in this community, and they're people that like they had to build this defensive mechanism around themselves because they've been so mistreated in their real lives. I didn't begrudge them for that, but it's like it was interesting to see how this group that it's like very much has been othered was immediately sort of othering other people to
othering other people.
I like that people's personalities and stuff leak out in the actual game, because it makes it more realistic, like how people really are.
I have one question.
Then we got to
right for this game, because I really
I know we literally this is the infomercial for
unexpected turn, right? But okay, how do you talk to them on a headset, or is it just text?
So there is a proximity chat. So you can walk up to people, talk to them, but you most of the time, like, your crew is in their Discord server having conversations there as well. So that stuff happened. But like, you can also like, I ran for mayor and I got elected mostly by bribing people, of course. I would put up campaign signs, and I was like running against my friend who was the robot and stuff, and put up signs about how robots are evil. And when I was being the most capitalist and trying to get people onto the global currency, they were like putting up signs like capitalism is murder and stuff like that. And then of course once they started their own stores, he changed it to capitalism isn't murder.
As soon as he got the bag.
I control like this. Okay, the other side, real quick. But the other side of this game is it requires actual labor. Like moving stone isn't like, oh, I'm going to put 7,000 stone in my pocket and walk away. No, you can carry 20 stone in your pocket, and then you can carry like 200 stone in a cart. So, and if you're trying to like clear out this mine to like get resources, you're gonna have to make trips, or pay people to make trips. Create your own system of rewarding people, give them a reason to want to do this work. And there's some people who like to dig, and they will spec towards digging, and then give them an incentive to work for you. But like I controlled the carts, and so it became very like I was like a robber baron almost, and so and I was like paying them, but I wasn't paying them a lot, and they just like started like to get like wise to this, and so I would put signs on the back of the carts like I was role playing, so I was like, you know, no unions and money isn't real and stuff, and Keynesian economics. Yeah, I know I was a terrible player in this game, I get it, but it was role playing. Yeah, but they were like talking about unionizing and stuff and taking power, and you know, they could have done it. I couldn't have stopped if they really tried. Yeah, it was, but it's like every day there was something like there's so much cool drama and stuff that like just humans dealing with each other inside these systems, and there are systems that the players are almost 100% responsible for creating. I mean, the game now is like had so many updates. Like there's like actual like rent and like loans. You can make loans and stuff like that. It's like
play it.
I would do a podcast server, and if you guys do it, I'll see if I can play along with you. That'd be great.
Definitely, brother. This turned into the Ego podcast. I apologize.
I didn't even. Yeah,
we gotta move on, but. I did ask you the favorite. Gotta be what? I'm assuming it's gonna be Nintendo, but favorite console of all time and why?
I think it's probably the Super Nintendo still. Yeah, probably still the Super Nintendo. Although I'm feeling very good about the Switch these days. And then probably the Xbox 360 is in there as well. I really love the Xbox 360.
You gotta pick one of your kids as your favorite. You gotta pick it.
Super Nintendo.
All right.
Okay.
My man.
Yeah.
My man. No
And
doubt.
we gotta ask, King. I'm sorry. We gotta ask.
What?
Which Zelda's your favorite?
Skyward Sword, of course. You don't see the illustrious hair.
No,
he looks like he wants to
let the
fly
man
in the sky
stop
with
leading
his
the
hair
witness.
Just blowing. Skyward
Stop
Sword.
leading the witness.
Which to the Switch.
Favorite Zelda, because they're gonna have to get this off. Yes. Look,
My favorite Zelda is Link's Awakening for the Game Boy because this is a good story. Just this is a quick one. A kid handed me that game in my class in 5th or 6th grade, and I'm like, it wasn't my birthday or anything. I'm like, okay, I would love to have a free video game. I'll take it. And I didn't think twice about it. I took it home, put it on my Game Boy, and I started playing it, and I fell in love with it. And years later, I realized, I remember my teacher's assistant talking to me about how she loved that game and she would play it all the time, but it got stolen from her. And took me 10 years to put 2 and 2 together that this kid stole the game out of her Game Boy and gave it to me trying to frame me. She talked to me about it. She knew that it was her game, but she liked me a lot. So she was like, she wrote this long thing in my yearbook. I told her what happened. I'm like, yeah, the kid gave it to me. And I'm like, I didn't even think about it. So she knew that it got stolen from her. And I got it, and I'm like, yeah, I love it. I love this game. I'm like, this is teaching me.
She probably had a heart to take it from you.
Yeah, no, because she was like, this kid's and I really, absolutely, maybe more than any other game, Link's Awakening, because it taught me like that second boss in that game was like, oh, I'm attacking it with the sword. It's not doing anything. Why isn't that doing anything? Oh, you're supposed to use the item you got in that thing to pick up the boss, throw it against the wall, break its chamber, and then attack it. Oh, this is video games. Video games are like, oh, you get a thing and you learn how to use it, and then you use it to advance. And it was like, okay, this is a breakthrough moment for me as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. And this woman, she really liked me and saw that I was really attached to the game. Was like, did not have the heart to take it back, and it took me a long time to realize that.
You learn very on about co-defendants and women that snitching on you. Pretty much. You was a co-defendant and a person. that
he was an unwitting assistant.
Yeah,
snitch on you. Yeah,
pretty much.
Accomplice.
Yes.
Grubb is it's not Skyward Sword. Okay,
Anyway, look, we got a lot of show, man.
We got 610.
Hit that like.
Share this out. Yeah. Jeff Grubb is about to get busy. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do that, man. So look, again, tremendous game history. The story, man. Like, we could talk to you for hours on game.
That was crazy.
Love your perspectives, brother. We just do the poll, and then we'll get into the next topic. So, last week's poll results are in, and the people have spoken to the question: if the rumored Sony and Capcom contract with specific provisions to keep Resident Evil Village off Game Pass for a year turns out to be true, do you feel this is an unfair business practice in the games industry? The winner of the 3-way ILP poll at 52% of the vote was yes. Time DLC, performance parity, and game service exclusivity should never be involved in these deals. Coming in at second place at 30% was no. These deals happen all the time for all platforms, group. And in a very close last place at 60% was the Petty Lords. I don't care unless it's my favorite game to complain about, group. So shout out to
That's me.
shout out to all the Lords who participated. Let's solve. What do you think about this, man?
Y'all are wrong. You're dead wrong. All is fair in love and war, and this is war. Sony has to do whatever they can to make it seem like Game Pass is not viable. They don't have that counterpunch. Buy whatever you can buy. Buy whatever you can buy, because Microsoft is sure as hell doing the same thing, and Microsoft's pockets are much deeper. So buy what you can buy.
Look, man, the realm disagrees. They wasn't feeling us. They wasn't.
I guess
Well, sometimes the realm could be wrong. It's okay. Let's
So let's move on, man. We got a lot to talk about, and yeah, man, Lord Grubb's in the building. So kind of want to do something different, man. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Who's this new edition? Is that the newest member of LordsGaming.net? Oh, let me get him out because he's cut off.
I love
right
how
now.
you act like you didn't know he was.
I didn't know this is gonna happen. This is totally
Someone just
unscripted.
snuck in here.
Out of the floor.
It's not like he needed a link to get in
This
here or
is
anything.
totally unscripted. I had no idea that this was gonna happen.
I love the big Yoda shirt.
Yo,
Oh
shout out.
man, gotta love it.
No doubt. So welcome to the newest edition of LordsGaming.net, owner of one of the largest Facebook groups in the Xbox community, everything Xbox, and Ubisoft Canada guild member, my man, Lord Alton, the AKA the Irish Carp. Lord Irish, how we doing, sir?
Not too bad, brother. How are you?
Doing
Can't
good.
believe I'm here.
Yeah, you're the big time, man.
I got Jeff Grubb over here. Like, what's up?
Go on, man. Yeah.
Loving the background, looking good, but you just in time, man. So we're gonna we're just about to start some hot stove talk. If there's anything you want to talk about first, we can do that. Or if you want to wait, you let me know.
Just one thing. I was heading to bed last night, and just before I was hitting bed, someone took a 10-second clip of Lord King.
Yes, I saw it.
talking about like a grunt from Halo, and I was nearly in tears. Oh, the demons coming!
Yeah.
So that was funny. Now let's move on.
All right, let's do it,
topics you
man.
want.
So look,
Do you want to go ahead and do that Von Holler thing real quick since he's here?
Sure. Let's do it, Attic. Let's do it.
So our wonderful guest, he's gave us a code of Von Holler to give away. So
I think it's the gold edition as well. I'm not sure. I think
so. Definitely, thank him for this. Go over there and follow him on Twitter. Shout out to Ubisoft Canada for to help with the giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you guys want to give? You want me to just throw it in the chat or like a
whatever you want to do, man.
Whatever you want to do. Let's do the
Now
question.
ask them a question.
Ask them a question.
Ask them what's the name of Jeff Grubb's
Cryptocurrency.
no, Grubbox. We already know that. No,
Grubbox is going to be the new dope.
Something early on. What was the name of the game they played?
Let me ask something.
No. I think this is it.
I'm gonna do a Ubisoft question.
No. The hell with the Ubisoft.
Oh my God!
It's about
How
Jeff
you
Grubb.
gonna tell me how to give the game
It's about Jeff Grubb. Let's see. What was the name of the game they played with Jeff Grubb for his 5th birthday for him to get his Nintendo?
Yeah,
okay.
perfect.
Which means they were listening. Okay.
Yeah, you better been listening. If you just showed up now, sucks for you. But if you've been here from the beginning, I want you to tell me what was the name of Jeff Grubb game that they played for his birthday for him to get his Nintendo.
Okay.
Jeez, I was watching that and I forgot as well.
No, I remembered it because I respect this
I see
man's
Tony
time.
Bryant with it.
Tony Bryant. Yeah. Tony Bryant.
There you go.
Tony Bryant got it. No doubt. That's loyal. That's respect.
That's it. Because he was there from the beginning. You got to reward
the
him.
rainbow.
He was there from the beginning. And they're actually
It was Under the Rainbow, in case you were wondering. Under the Rainbow.
Yes.
Tony Bryant got it. Good job, Tony.
I thought that was amazing. For that, and you got to find little things around the house. I mean, it's stuff like that that stick with children, and you interacting with your children, and if those experiences go on later.
I'll never forget it.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
No doubt. So look, let's get that to him, Addict, if you can.
Hit me up on Twitter.
Yes.
Enjoy it.
No doubt, man. Look, so let's
what's
get
up,
to it, man.
man.
Hot stove, coming in hot. So we got to talk about it, man. So look, we got Lord Jeff in the building, and I want to do this different because, you know, what I felt is, somebody just bought something.
Yeah, I got something for
somebody
Jeff.
just bought something. Oh, shout out to the D Skills H-Town. Got that classic T. I see you. Salute. So, yeah, we want to do like, you know, like in sports, you know, right before the trade, the season starts, the hot stove, what's going on. So E3 is kind of like the start of the season for us a little bit. So, we got Lord Jeff, so let's do a little brief Q&A about some things. So, one thing I wanted to start off with, Lord Jeff, is it's a lot of emojis running around these Twitter streets. You know, there's a lot of, you know, little dragons and, you know, cars with flags and, you know,
Cyclones.
typhoons and cyclones. So, you know,
Shout out to Jez Corden.
Shout out to Jez Corden with those sensual
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, shout out to Miles Dompierre, who's in the chat too. I seen him, you know what I mean? But
Miles?
yeah, man. So, Lord Jeff, man, I need you to help us, man. Can we decipher some of these emojis? What's going on?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the Forza and the Mexican flag. I wonder what that means.
What could that possibly mean?
The new Fast and Furious?
Yeah. Look, when that I knew it was in Japan, and then I was. Yeah, what's it mean?
It means it's definitely not being in Mexico.
So the rumor was always Japan, right? The rumor was Japan.
Yeah.
I got some fake screenshots a long time ago that I never shared that were in Japan. I'm like, that's not real. And it turned out that wasn't real. And I wasn't looking into it too hard because I'm like, we'll find out when we find out. And then Jez is like, I'm going to Mexico with my car. And immediately, like a couple sources are like, oh, I wonder why Jez is saying that. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yep. So yeah, that's it's in Mexico. Yeah.
So emoji 2, dragons, and I'm seeing people like it's scalebound. It's
Scalebound. It returns.
Oh, that's great.
But what's going on with that, Lord Grubb?
So that is the IO IO Interactive, the people that make Hitman. They've made a new deal with my Xbox, and they pitched a game, and that pitch it's early, and these pitches often change. But what I understand to mean is it is a behind the back sort of Diablo connected RPG experience. That's sounds cool to me.
Wow.
But it's not scalebound.
Yeah.
Not scalebound.
It's not the new Game of Thrones game.
No.
Yeah, no, not the new Game of Thrones game. No, but, you know, it's clearly if you are pitching a game right now about a connected RPG world with dragons, Game of Thrones is going to come up in the pitch. I bet that helps. I bet that still helps.
I'm sorry, but if Game of Thrones is anywhere in anything at this point now, I'm boycotting. I ain't playing. No.
He said I'm boycotting.
Because I'm automatically going to assume 80% of that game is fire. And
the last quarter is
And the last part of it, the ending sucks.
Yeah, because if it's a Game of Thrones game, you have to make the end game really suck.
Oh my god.
Facts. And but again, can we maybe elaborate on the typhoon emoji? Or are we not allowed to talk about that just yet?
No, I mean we're not allowed to talk about any of this.
I appreciate your service, sir.
Yeah, but so the typhoon one, I agree with Jez that it doesn't make a lot of sense to talk about it because it's not an existing IP, and
respect.
And if I explain to you what it is, you're still gonna have a lot of questions about whether or not that's something that you're excited about. Like right now, you're like, I don't know. Should I be excited? And I'll tell you, and you'll be like, okay, should I be excited? And it's like, why don't I just let the people making the game kind of tease it themselves
and give them their moment so that in the sun. I respect that.
It sounds pretty cool, but I'm gonna want to see it for myself as well. So it's like if that's kind of what I like, if that's all I know, why spoil it?
No doubt.
Hey Jeff.
Amen.
Hey Jeff. Should we really be excited around October, September about Nintendo / Microsoft something?
Yo,
listen. Hey Jeff.
This is so leading.
Hey Jeff. I'm just messing with you. Let's go on.
I get it. It's like what I've heard is that they've had chats, but everyone's always talking about everything. These are businesses. They don't take things personally the way we do.
Right.
Like Microsoft and Nintendo, like Microsoft calls up Nintendo, says, let's talk about something. Nintendo takes the call. They take the call. And and whether or not that leads to Game Pass on Switch, I think is very unlikely for a very long time.
Yeah, I didn't say that though.
No, I know you didn't say that. But it's like that's what everyone's thinking as soon as you say that, though.
Yeah.
And it's but other things could happen. There are other deals that could be made. I think that's possible. I think that Nintendo looking at a cloud service provider and Microsoft stepping in and being like, hello,
is it me you're looking for?
Exactly. That's very possible. That's very possible. So, but I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes. I think right now, mostly we're going to hear about maybe they had a conversation. Maybe they made one of those promissory notes that like Sony and Microsoft made.
Right.
But Nintendo's going to be kind of preoccupied launching the Switch Pro and stuff like that. So around that time of the year, we'll be hearing more about that than anything else.
Exactly.
So, Lord Irish, you got one? Because I'm going to go to the round table. Lord, anything you were inquiring while we got some hot stove talk with Lord Jeff?
Yeah, well, as per media about Knights of the Old Republic, that's got me pretty hyped. I don't know. Any other fans for BioWare and Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah. I'm ready to play that game again. I have no idea if like what the scope of the remake is. I hope
they've
it's
done pretty good.
Yeah, they I mean, as Aspire's been doing a lot of like straight ports of like old Star Wars games. So it's like, but maybe they're doing that because they're putting all the resources into Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah,
so
hopefully.
I'm hopeful, but I will say, like, to the Star Wars point, there's a lot of talk about Star Wars games, not just at Xbox, but like Lucasfilm making a lot of deals with a lot of people. I think people keep saying maybe the Mandalorians at Microsoft. I think that's not the case, but I think there's a Mandalorian game being made. This is me like kind of speculating a little based on some stuff I've heard. I don't think that's at like Microsoft first party, but. I think it's possible we could hear about other Star Wars games out of Xbox. That one I haven't been able to confirm for sure though. But I have heard for sure that Lucasfilm is making a lot of Star Wars deals for a lot of games.
So the more the better, my friend. Like it's been lacking the last few days.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like remember the heyday of the Star Wars games was like Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation 2, and they all had like exclusive Star Wars games. Right. And some of them were crap, but like some of them were like kind of like bordering on really great, like Bounty Hunter. It's like, I mean, I really got into Bounty Hunter, and someone doesn't like this game, but I love it. But there's so much Star Wars stuff that you could kind of pick and choose. And they really should go back to that route. Like Warhammer right now. Tons of games. Just do that if you're Star Wars. If you're Disney, just do what Warhammer's doing. Give it to anyone that has a good pitch.
Warhammer.
Yes, that too. Yes, exactly.
Star Wars.
There's one there's one Star Wars game that like it's been out before, but shout out to Limited Run Games. They dropped the Republic Commando. I got that limited edition big box of Republic Commando coming for the Switch, and I cannot wait to dive into that world again.
No doubt.
It's a good game.
Shout out to
it's fantastic.
Shout out to Tony B who bought the bug. Lord Attic, any hot stove question you got?
Maybe actually, I got some, and I got one particularly from the. So what I did is I asked the members and the Patreons if there's anything particular that they wanted to ask you. And obviously if it was like crazy stuff, I wasn't going to ask that. But someone had a good question. I'm not trying to pronounce your name, fam. I'm sorry. It's like Scafolia Poetic X Initiative.
I remember him, X Initiative.
Seafood Poetic X Initiative.
There you go. So his question to you, Lord Jeff, is I want to know what format we might see for E3. Do we expect more showcases to be like Nintendo Direct style, Game Reward style, or with like special effects or old school E3 with a stage and performance?
I think that these companies are going to be handling the production themselves, and so it's going to be what they are comfortable doing. I think Nintendo will absolutely just be a Nintendo Direct like always. I think there's a chance that there will be a person or persons on a stage as like part of, like what we know this because Greg Miller's hosting E3, right? Greg Miller and some other people are hosting E3, and so my guess is that means they are hosting E3 and that they'll be like stitching together these productions from these companies themselves. I don't think the ESA is going to have any hand in producing like Microsoft's thing. Xbox is going to pay for that themselves because they don't want to pay any money to the ESA, which makes sense. And so they'll kind of do it their own way. But then Greg Miller will come on stage and be like, hey, now we're going from Nintendo to Xbox. And while we wait for that, here's a conversation with someone. We'll talk more about this game. And maybe if we have a game from a smaller publisher that doesn't have an entire showcase to themselves, we'll put that in between here and we'll talk about that and we'll have a conversation with that developer. Okay, now let's go to Xbox and prepare yourself for the big Xbox blowout because it's going to be Xbox and that's going to lead directly into Bethesda. And then when we come back from that, we'll like it's going to be something along those lines. There will be people on a stage. There's not going to be the people from these companies likely won't be on that specific stage, though. They will just have their own videos pre-produced, ready to go. And, I think that's going to make the most sense.
Great question. Lord Sav, you got anything?
I'm
sorry. Continue.
that was the members.
Okay. Continue, sir. Thank you for speaking softly, everybody.
So I do have another question. Obviously, we see Microsoft really trying to captivate and get more of these JRPGs in the brand, and they did a really good job. We saw stuff like Dragon Quest. We've seen franchises that's never been on Xbox, and we're seeing that more and more. My question to you, Jeff, is like, do you see like games like Final Fantasy VII Remake not necessarily come to Game Pass, or just come to the platform in general? Have you heard anything? And another one, I hear a lot through the grapevine that we might see a Persona 5 hit Game Pass. Do you agree with these rumors that I'm hearing?
I agree that these games are finding an audience on Game Pass, and they are very additive. Where it is, these are games that people are trying for the first time and finding out that they really like, and now these people who have played one genre or a couple genres now have a new genre that they're really into, JRPGs, and that is something that Game Pass wants to capitalize on. They want people trying new stuff and trying new genres, especially genres that have like a lot of games that could be added and will be added in the future. And so and this is like when I was talking about the Kojima thing, and I said this is like part of Microsoft's plan to leverage Japanese talent. That point was, well, first of all, Kojima is probably the biggest name and the biggest thing that Microsoft's going to do in Japan right now. But also, the idea is to leverage this talent and put it in Game Pass and have the games perform globally. Not necessarily about like taking over Japan. It is about people in the West who have not played these kinds of games a lot before getting to try them. And so to that point, I think that Microsoft will be looking to make more and more and more of these deals. I think that the Persona 5 thing seems pretty solid. I think we'll probably hear about that at E3. But I also think that if Square Enix wants to announce Dragon Quest 12 and Microsoft wants to pay for it to get it on Game Pass day one, I think that would be
big.
Irish, see the money. I see it too.
If they do something like that, I'm stating this now. Obviously, I want Final Fantasy VII. I want the remake. I want whatever they do after that on Xbox. I know that there's a lot of red tape there because of what's going on with Sony, and they snatching titles.
Dragon Quest doesn't have the same problem, right?
Yeah, so but if they went above me, I'm like, look, we can't do Final Fantasy for you guys. We can't. Like it's already been done. Ain't nothing we can do. But this Dragon Quest,
that's big.
Right? And Dragon Quest is having a huge upward swing, in part because of Game Pass. Like Game Pass is a huge
Dragon
part
Builders 2 is coming out soon.
To be honest with you, I've always been a Final Fantasy person. It was no Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. It was like the games took so much of my time. I always played Final Fantasy, not Dragon Quest.
Right.
So 11 was my first Dragon Quest, and now I'm a huge fan of the franchise. So,
I think there's this is the kind of thing where like, okay, yeah, sure, let's make deals for the future Dragon Quest games, but let's get all the Dragon Quest games on there. Like these people, have started using Game Pass for that as a way to go back and explore these old franchises.
Like Yakuza, not to cut you, but like the Yakuza series, to have that in and then to put in that whole background. And now you introduce this audience that were never really familiar or played these games on that platform, and introduce them into this series. Continue.
And I couldn't think of Yakuza, and that was the one I was trying to think of. So thank you actually for that. But it's like this is the kind of thing that these types of services can be really good at. We know this from looking at movies, and Netflix was really popular because it had Friends for a very long time. And people could go back and watch all the Friends over and over, and all of The Office over and over. And that was actually the most valuable thing that they had. And it's like offering the same.
They lost a lot of people when it left.
Exactly. Yeah, the companies that actually own those properties realized how popular it was, and that they tried to make their own services. Right. And I think that's less likely to happen here, just because you're going to go compete with Microsoft to try to make your own service. It's going to be pretty difficult. But maybe you'll try. Go ahead and try, maybe. But it's like more likely you're just going to take Microsoft's money and continue like realizing like, we are seeing such a payoff from putting entire franchises that are like relatively modern, like Yakuza, on there and just getting all the bit. But it's like you could do that with Dragon Quest, and Dragon Quest goes all the way back to the NES, and you just put it as a package on there and let people go back. If they want to play from the beginning, they can. If they want to play it from like the more modern ones like Dragon Quest 8 and Dragon Quest 7, they could do that. You'd have to do a lot of port work, but it would almost be worth it just because you are building such a huge audience for your future. And you make a deal with Microsoft right now for Dragon Quest 12, but it's like going forward, that's just going to build, it's going to make that Dragon Quest 13 and 14 even more valuable. You'll get more money in the future.
Dragon Quest 11, I loved it. You can ask Cognito. I played like 100 hours of that game. I got the true final ending. BG, I beat the game, just saying. But so what I like about what they're doing is, someone like me, I've always been curious about Dragon Quest, but I never really got into it. But now since I'm into it and I love it, if it comes out, they've already guaranteed a purchase if it's not on Game Pass, just because of how much I liked it, because they put it in Game Pass and they've exposed that to not necessarily sales in Dragon Quest, which I'm sure it did increase the sales because of other people playing Dragon Quest. It's like a domino effect. But now they have exposed themselves to a potential future investment into the Dragon Quest.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get a Solve and then a couple more questions in. Solve, you got anything for Lord Grubb?
Yeah, Jeff, do you think there's any truth to the rumor that this year's COD game is in trouble? And if it is, what does that mean for Sledgehammer?
This is, So this is my a hunch and stuff that this is not me confirming anything, but my guess is that yes, it's in trouble. I think Sledgehammer was in trouble as soon as the guys left. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but like the creative leads, they were like the big boys that like led the whole thing. They've left a while ago. And I think they skipped Sledgehammer a few years ago, and I don't think they ever got their feet back underneath them. And then in the midst of this, Activision's trying to be like, all right, instead of patching up Sledgehammer or like filling in the holes there, let's just bring these other studios in to work on it. And that's like, it takes time to get up to speed on that stuff. It takes time to actually deliver. Like, they could deliver on content, but are like the stuff that Sledgehammer's like working on specifically, are they going to be able to help with that stuff? And it's like, well, no, that takes a lot more time. It's a lot harder. Is like the multiplayer in trouble? If the multiplayer's in trouble, that's a huge deal.
That's a big problem.
Right. And it's so like that. Some of the rumors have been like they're just going to release an updated version of Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. Like, okay, like there could be an issue there, or maybe that'll work. I don't know if it's hard to get the right gauge on the Call of Duty audience, but to me, this spells like, okay, they need to figure out maybe a longer term solution for Call of Duty going forward. They tried the 3-studio solution for a while, but obviously, if your most talented leaders leave and there is a dearth of talent in terms of like the senior executive position for developer, like there's not a lot of people out there filling those roles. If that's and this is going to be your strategy going forward, you're gonna have to change. This is not sustainable, I don't think. And when people say stuff like, I said for years and years, AAA game development isn't sustainable. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about. Talent, a lack of talent, and that's not a lack. These people are just going and starting their own studios because they don't want to work for Bobby Kotick. They don't want to work for these companies.
And that's the thing that I'm seeing is like, well, does it indicate a downward trend in general for them? Just because, again, you take Toys for Bob off of Crash, which they did amazing with, and then you're moving them to COD. I mean, obviously they're talented, but they have, like you said, they haven't worked on this. It takes a long time to get up to speed on whatever they're going to do. And maybe they don't want to do that, right? So it's like,
want to.
I can see, and we've been saying it forever, when is the downward trend for COD coming? And I think we might see it now, right? We might see a little bit of it now just because it seems like they've kind of bitten off more than they can chew.
But Warzone is always.
But Warzone is the great equalizer,
right? So does Warzone take over? Yeah.
At what point do they just say, "Okay, we'll do Call of Duty story games and just do all the multiplayer stuff or whatever they want to do with inside Warzone?" And
that's the thing that would require a big shift.
Yeah,
huge.
Because it takes away the development time that they would need to craft a new multiplayer experience when they can just drop these single player experience or group player experiences, co-op player experiences in the Call of Duty. You play that way, and then update and get a more robust Warzone, because I think Warzone is like at 120 gigs to download or something like that right now. It's really crazy.
It's big.
Yeah.
Let me get I'm sorry, get Jeff.
No, go ahead. I was just going to reiterate that point. So
okay.
Let's move on.
I'm just going to get got to stick it in because my Sega love won't let it go. Any chance that a Sega kid's dream could come true with some type of that Microsoft talk? Are you gonna break my heart easy? You gonna let me off easy? There's a meme right now that it's hilarious, and it's like a person saying, "I won't let you go" to Sega consoles, and then she's like, "No, you gotta let me." So for us OG older gamers who want to live this Sega dream, is it still any updates on anything with the relationship there, or maybe just a Game Pass relationship as far as it goes, or nothing?
So I think, again, that the biggest thing that Microsoft is doing in Japan is with Kojima. That would mean Sega would be bigger if that was happening, and so that means it's probably not happening. But in terms of like an acquisition or something like that, yes, they're probably going to try to get some more Sega stuff in Game Pass.
Okay.
That seems possible.
That's good consolation.
Yeah, but I think those talks are still kind of moving slowly. Stuff that might not come through until next year. Sega's also like just kind of like trying to get their house in order, right? They seem kind of messy.
Yeah. The Pachinko division, getting rid of that and all.
Yeah, and like getting Persona onto other consoles other than just PlayStation, like that. Like what a wasted opportunity to make a lot of money. And like just getting the basics, their foundation like set, because it just seems like they like management there. Made some miscalculations. They're like, yeah, we could put it just on PlayStation, and that's where most people are going to buy it. So let's just do it there. And it's like if you had this on Switch, let alone also Xbox, you would be maybe doubling, tripling your money. Right. Like, what are we doing here? And so, and management is feeling the heat there at Sega Sammy, and so maybe making a long-term deal with Microsoft is something that is kind of off the table until they like make sure that they're not going to get removed by the board of directors or whatever. So, but yeah, it's still possible. But to me, that seems like something that might be still a year off or so.
Okay, and part two, and I'll open it back up. This was actually a hot debate. Shout out to the XCast. I was on there with Snowbike Mike and those guys, Paris, Gary Witter.
Good boys over there.
Yeah. Good peeps. And actually, it's continued past that with my good friend Red Althor, who we were on Fame Show, me and you, not that long ago. So the hot debate now is Halo Infinite, right? So basically the idea of a battle royale, right? So what the argument is, does Halo Infinite need a battle royale, like even in that free-to-play multiplayer model, to succeed with the younger generation? That's part one. And then part two, if there is a battle royale mode, right, in Halo Infinite, do you think it would be a mistake not to be ready at launch?
So this is a tough one. I don't know. Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know if they need it, right? But I think they're going to be free to play with their multiplayer, and you're going to be competing with a lot of other free to play shooters and shooters that are much more well established. Right. Call of Duty went through a years long period, multiple years of getting to the point where it is now, where it has sort of turned into like one of the really big free to play shooters again. Like the first version of Blackout or whatever was like, okay, yeah, then Warzone comes out and starts blowing up, and now it's had multiple updates. I mean, you're going against things that are really well established. And so coming out the gate, I don't know if you need to have everything out of the gate. These games have been proven that they can take their time to get to where they need to go. But you need to make sure that there's enough there. You need to make sure people are having fun right away. You don't want to burn out. You don't want to have just crash and burn right out of the gate. People have got to be having fun, and I would. You and me and you here. Okay, you on that was my argument today. Icarus. Continue. Yeah, and it's just like that means also you can't put out anything that's like half-assed. You can't just throw the 1 versus 100 like multiplayer mode in there and hope for the best. It's got to be solid and ready to go. And what I would probably do if I were them is I would put out the core Halo modes and immediately kind of very quickly start saying, okay, and in a month we're going to start a beta for a battle royale, right? Giving them the roadmap that is coming. Yes, it's coming. It's there. But come in, let us know what you think. Let's build this together. Let's build it with you and me.
Kind of like what they did with Halo 5. did like a month-long beta, and they took the feedback.
And I think the thing with these games is that works. It works really well, and there's going to be a diehard community of Halo fans that will be like, hey, we like this, we don't like that.
Right.
This whole thing isn't working. You're going to have to rethink it and have the conversation with them, and don't try to like sell it wide until it's ready to go a little bit, or let it build up naturally over time. Like, a lot of the times these betas just blow up, and then one day the beta tag is just gone. And I think that's a viable method as well. But just come out solid. Say, this is what the game is. This is what Halo free-to-play multiplayer is. We feel really good about this. Come have some fun with us. And now here's that roadmap, and let's go down that path. If I were them, that's what I would do.
Like, they can split it. Like, the Halo multiplayer has always been like one of the biggest. It's always been there. So everyone's going to go straight into that. But to make, as you said, free like battle royale or whatever, it's going to bring all a new younger generation. Absolutely, it's just going to pile up on top, and it's just going. I think I'm not a big battle royale player at all, but like, if they bring that in, I think the sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
Bring in some ODSTs dropping in the sky.
I'm with it.
Exactly. It's already there. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly. They have all the books. It's good.
About Halo Infinite, how do you think they handle single player? Is it going to be, because it's more of an open world? Are they going to add single player content in a way that almost like a multiplayer game?
I think
after the initial game.
I think so. I think it's going to. I think there's going to be a very solid honestly, this is going to be a scary comparison, but I think it might feel a little bit like Avengers. Where
no.
In terms of the story content.
We were doing so good, Lord Grubb. I got to go to Florida. We were doing so good.
I see it now. Halo Infinite is
fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher. I didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it.
Jeff Grubb says.
They go wrong with it now. Jeff Grubb says he saw behind the scenes Halo Infinite. It mimics.
Everything's falling down.
It's a one-to-one convert.
I just want to point out to all the people about to make this man's name.
Do not clip that.
Look,
I swear to God, I will find you.
We're saying right now, the man was not saying it was a comparison. He was comparing the foundation, not the
yes.
He was lamenting the comparison.
He was lamenting. I'm always going to flip it to the other side.
All right. Yeah. We dodged the bullet from the Twitterverse. Okay. Maybe.
People's already left it, man.
You're going to play through You're going to play through a story campaign that's going to be probably very good, very well made. It's going to be probably a showcase for a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then there's going to be ongoing content later in the game that you play together with your friends. Mm-hmm. And I bet that's going to be very good too. And that's going to be, I think that's going to be something that a lot of people come to, and they're going to want to play this game together, PvE for a very long time. Yeah. And then it's going to get updates. Yeah.
No doubt. All right. My final question. I know we're going along.
I want to just comment real quick.
Come on, quick. We got a lot.
Look, I've always said, me and LordCognito talked about it. I get it. If they delay it, like to me, the highlight's going to be the arena. People are going to play that, and it would be nice to have a roadmap. Like, all right, I get to play the arena and the campaign for a couple months, and then I could play the battle royale. And it's all I've always said. It does not matter when you release something. If it's good, people are going to gravitate to it.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you on something. Last question, because I know we're going along with this. Real quickly. Sony's presence. When we talk about Sony, we know they're not at E3, right? But what do you think they will have an event around that same time so they could stay in the news cycle along with Nintendo and Microsoft? Well, anything we're hearing there?
Yeah, so I mean, Ratchet is coming out June 11th, and then when is E3? Like the next day, like the next couple of days. So I think they'll probably talk a little bit about Ratchet before E3 will happen, and then Sony will do their thing. Okay. Sony likes going last; they will go last. Yes. I think they kind of went around the same time last year, like late in June. I can't remember now, but they'll go a little bit later in June, and they'll talk about the rest of their year. They're going to lay out a compelling thing. I think this is where they might talk about Final Fantasy 16. I think this is where they'll probably talk about
Ragnarok.
Yes, Ragnarok, and they'll either drop the bad news, which might be it's very delayed, or the good news of by the end of March. By the end of March of 2022 or something like that. It's still kind of delayed, but mostly it's like that's not too bad. That people can wait that long. People
we can deal with
that.
Do you think
deal with that?
Do you think Horizon's a safe bet this year?
I think so. I think based on their earnings outlook for the year, I think Horizon has to come out by March 2022. But I think that means other stuff has to make it as well. If God of War doesn't make it by March 2022, they've got some other surprises that we don't know about. So
hopefully, I'm always good looking for an excuse.
Did you say Horizon for March 2022?
By March 2022.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
By that fiscal period.
Yeah. Oh, Attic, are you implying at not this year?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm implying.
I'm just saying, like, based on, so their fiscal year ends March 2022.
Well, and I get that. That's the business thing. But you know how these Twitter streets, they don't care about the business thing. The year ends December the 31st today.
I think it'll be at the end of this calendar year. I think it'll be out. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Look, great hostile. Thank you for indulging that. You didn't have to do that. We really appreciate this exclusive.
It was fun.
From Lord Grubb. Very fun, very fun. So let's get the super chats and then we gotta get the Returnal in. We gotta get let's get the super chats.
I think I'm the only one that's not on the Returnal.
It's like 200 super chats.
So
we got. I mean,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, they're a lot. They're a lot.
Just read like 15 and then we'll
Oh, just read like 15.
Are you gonna be able to hold the spot, or do you? Because I know it's a long show. I know.
He might as well just read a couple of them right now.
Okay.
Like,
so
even if it's not a loss.
The last one is Phantom Kraken, just so you guys know. Okay. We have Tim Swope with the $5 super chat. Good morning, Lords. Great podcast. Keep up the energy. Do you think Xbox revives Mech Assault or put Mech Warrior that's coming out into Game Pass?
Probably so.
Oh, that'd be juicy.
Phil Dominus Max. I see you H.
He's watching.
He's watching. You got that Phil Dominus. I see you. Continue.
Then we have Vagabundo with the $5 super chat. I haven't said that name in a while. No. It's not 9 out of 10. It's an 8 out of Octo. This is for Addict.
Don't start him up. Time. Let's go. We gotta fly through these.
Away Dragons TV $5 super chat. King has created Game Pass Monster is a whole movement going Game Pass Lives Matter. Fact.
Salute.
Then we have Stitch with the $5 super chat. Just because it hasn't been said yet. Hello, Lords. Hello, Lords. Guest and that guy Addict.
Leave my man alone. Jesus. Why be abusing my boys?
And we have RRD with the $5 super chat. Shout out to Jeff Grubb. Love your work lately. Oh, and your writing is great too. Wow. As an afterthought, you're writing.
Oh yeah, the writing.
You're right. The afterthought.
Also, Sheepshaw Ed said no need to temper E3 expectations for once. Okay.
Especially. Okay. Shout out to them. Yeah. Xbox Era and the crew. Salute. What else we got?
Then we'll see Scrub Nurse with the $5 super chat. Shout out to the panel and chat. Let's keep this Sunday going. Eager to hear today's sermon from the Book of X.
Let's drop a Book of X. Boom. There you go.
Then we have Gaming Forte, $5 super chat. Shout out to the best Xbox. PlayStation. Wait a minute. Best Nintendo podcast on YouTube. Love you guys. And one more thing. Hey, King Boo Boo.
Hey, Forte.
Yo, y'all stupid. Kill me when y'all do that. Y'all kill me. Continue.
Then we have the homie Gaz with a weird request with the 10-pound super chat. Shout out to ILP. Jeff, can I buy the controller that you licked?
Oh my God!
You got to get my OnlyFans. It's right below. Look at my shop. It's right below my Gamer Boy bathwater. Yeah.
You know what's funny, Lord Jeff? Someone when I asked the members in the Patreons a question, someone actually asked me to ask you about your
I'm surprised you don't have a fan though beside you.
That's gonna
just let the luscious hair.
Let the hair go.
Just like
there we go.
There you go, bro.
It's gonna cost you guys. That's premium content.
Premium content. That's the OnlyFans. That's the OnlyFans tier. Continue.
Then we have Gamers Play, $2 super chat. Game Fan was a hardcore Mag Love Game fan. Porter Muncher's unit, no doubt.
Yeah, true.
Salute.
Then we have Free R. Kelly.
Oh, he back.
With the $5 super chat. Sorry I'm late. I was making my kids breakfast. Has King started talking crazy on Sony yet? Of course he did.
No, I haven't. I didn't get to y'all guys
He
yet.
started. He's revving up.
He's revving up.
He's insulting and giving me money. Like what?
And we have a big shout out to Lord Finest. Put the crest in the chat for Lord Finest for joining as a Lord Bronze and immediately upgrading the membership to Lord Silver. So thank you, brother. Much appreciated.
What that was, it's like, oh, I didn't click Silver, and he had to upgrade.
Upgrade, baby. Get the premium benefits. Continue.
No doubt. Then we have Lord Roughness with the £5 super chat. FOMO is one-sided in the gaming world. If you're on Game Pass side, you're not missing out. Facts. Life is good.
No doubt.
No, it's just extending my backlog.
Exactly. I think it's even more for you. Have so much stuff you can't play.
Returnal.
Rocker Corey, $2 super chat. PS5 can't render Jeff's hair at 4K. It's 1080p upres.
Messy. Moving on. Let's keep
L'Oreal, get on this, man.
Mark LaPrada with the $5 super chat. Sorry, I'm busy today. Dropping in to show some love to the realm. I'll catch the show on the podcast feed. Hit that like button. Everyone have a great day. You as well, my brother. Appreciate it. Then we got Isma Easy with the $5 super chat. Apparently, Microsoft is once again vain to talk to acquire Jeff Grubb's hair and
Oh my God.
Shout out to the panel. I hope the rumors about something big this week is true.
Monday, Tuesday, brother. Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, there's definitely something
supposed to be coming.
There's something. Hey, you know, just think about what's coming out on Thursday. Let's see that. Free R. Kelly, $5 super chat. Game Pass ain't going to Nintendo or Song. Stop hyping up the ugly girl.
Nobody said Game Pass is going to Nintendo, and the conversation was centered around something that's going on theirs. Please sit down and put the dunce hat back on.
Then we have a random citizen with the $5 super chat.
I love that name. Random NPC. Continue.
Yeah.
Greetings, Lords. Random question for Jeff Grubb. Which is better, Mass Effect 1 or the lesser sequel, Mass Effect 2?
2, hands down. Get away.
Wait, hold on. Did Grubb give me hope?
Mass Effect 2.
Oh, Jeff Grubb! Yo, we doing a debate show.
Oh God!
Next Saturday. Mass Effect 1 versus
Mass Effect 2. Are you one of the best games ever made?
Oh, brother, I will hit you the DMs. You are so on to something. You are a legendary journalist in the game, and I respect your opinion, sir. I will hit you up about the time on me. Time on me.
I just gonna call you out, and you know, in public right now. A lot of my panel have not received invitations. I wonder why.
Don't worry about that. Listen, I gotta stack the deck for my narrative. This is I'm the host.
But you're the boss. You're the boss. You have to.
All right, time. Get a super chat.
Then we got Poochie with the $5 super chat. Lord Jeff, any word on Hellblade 2? I seriously feel it will be a Game of the Year contender.
I think we'll see it. I don't know if it's coming out this year. I think I'll know more in a couple weeks. I'll check me again then. But I think we'll see it.
DM when you know.
Yeah, no problem.
Then we have the Liz with the $5 super chat. Salute, Lords. Let's have a great Sunday. Off my Destiny grind, but just got to the majors en road to the show. Can't wait for Vault of Glass. Yeah, that's soon now, right?
Yeah, next
it's very soon.
No doubt. What else we got?
Then we have Dan Lazaro with the $5 super chat. Big hand to Jeff Grubb for not stating opinions as facts like other insiders. I'm going to sub just for the integrity.
Man, that's just being a reporter, man. I'm not an insider, I'm a reporter. That's how I do it.
No doubt.
Then we have Paul AFC with the £5 super chat. Great show, guys. Sony are not at E3 because they got nothing else to announce. Salute to Lord.
That's not true. But go ahead.
Then we have Lord Roughness with the £5 super chat. Question for Jeff: Mass Effect Legendary Edition in Game Pass day and date?
Probably not. No.
Damn, I was trying to hold out. Damn.
No, I don't think so either, no.
Yeah, probably not.
Then we have Free R. Kelly with the $10 super chat. Game Pass isn't a viable solution to Microsoft's problem. Nobody wants to play games over there. Have fun playing Game Pass till they take the game you're playing off their list. Sony,
I got money. I can buy it after.
I really.
You can buy it discounted on Game Pass.
It's this weird narrative that you can no longer partake in the game. Listen, for all you ignorant people that don't know, I have to explain it again.
Explain it to them.
It goes inside Game Pass. You can partake, you can purchase, or you can do neither. And if you purchase, there's a discount.
Yes.
It's not one game in Game Pass that you get to pay $15 for. There's hundreds. So please stop telling me from your little corner in the basement about how Game Pass is valuable. Stop it.
No doubt.
Then we have free R. Kelly once again. $5 super chat. 23 million on Game Pass does not mean that they're there for Microsoft. Soon as Game Pass time is up, they out of there. Back to PlayStation, baby.
You know what they're there for, right? MLB The Show.
Continue.
And we have free R. Kelly once again.
God,
the $10
He's throwing the money back.
He's throwing it again right now. He wants to interact. Oh, he's back. Yeah, he wants to interact.
Would you rather? Who would you rather get at? The chicken head who will love you, but she don't cook. She takes you out to hometown buffet and get all you can eat, or you're gonna try and wipe up the baddie who's got her own.
Move out the way, this king.
She got my size 13 boots next to the bed. So
that's the dev kit? That's the MLB The Show dev kit?
Yeah, you can act like you don't see my boots in your house if you want. When you go to work, I'm going to work too. God bless St.
My God.
My Lord.
That was fire. That was a fire clapback. That was one of your best. Wow. Continue.
But I'd carry on.
Boots. We got to get a boot emoji at this one.
You said when he goes to work, you're going to work. So like how's he seeing your boots because he at work? So you
I leave my boots there.
Text him, yeah.
I got to come back to retrieve them.
So did you leave barefoot? What's going on?
I got extra boots, baby.
Come on, son. We gotta go on. This is crazy.
Then we have free R. Kelly once again. At Radical Advent, first off, I don't play a Black King like he broke. I support the Lord's guys.
He does support.
Let's behave in the chat. Let us behave. Free R. Kelly is supported,
but he does support.
But he supports. Much love, but let's keep the back and forth
civil. All I know,
he's the rich Christopher Hart.
He's a rich Christopher.
I know. Is Christopher Hart got an ally in that chat?
Yeah, he definitely do. Moving on.
Then we have free R. Kelly, $5 in the chat once again. Halo needs to make this game the best Halo because Guardians was hot garbage. Halo 3 is the GOAT of FPS. I'm praying for Infinite. Y'all need it. You see, y'all need exactly. He's a well-rounded game.
I respect that.
Moving on. I respect that.
And then we have Tim Swope with the $5 super chat in regards to Jeff Grubb's comparison of Avengers and Halo Infinite.
It's clipped.
Back Jeff Grubb.
I told you, Jeff.
Clipped.
I don't remember ever saying anything like that. That's wild. Why would anyone say something like that?
Exactly.
Then we have Phantom Kraken with the $2 super chat. Also referring to this comment that allegedly doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. Jeff, why would you say that? Dios mío.
Dios mío.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
All right.
Coming in hot and everything.
Okay, that's the last one I was able to look at.
I see you with the T, no doubt. So we good for now?
No, we have more.
One question.
Oh, but we caught up to the last one because we got.
I have it.
Then we gotta move on. Come on, we gotta move on. This is crazy.
So this is a two-parter. One is for Jeff Grubb, and the other one is for all the Lords. So Jeff, you're one of the few people that actually dropped Warhammer. What is your favorite Warhammer game?
No, I really like Vermintide.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
looking forward to Darktide.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I didn't play Darktide. But I played a lot of Vermintide with some friends, and I really like that. Yeah, quite a bit.
No doubt.
So my question for all the Lords is: if you could pick any comic book character and any developer to make the game, who would you pick? I'll go first. Mine would be Judge Dredd with Obsidian.
Okay, I'm going to say Silver Surfer game because I'm Norman Rad fanboy, and I want the Gods of Respawn to do it. Continue.
Yes.
I want Black Panther, and I want the Initiative to do it.
Solid.
Daredevil and
Insomniac.
Wait, King, you said what would Insomniac?
I would take the Incredible Hulk, and I would take Insomniac.
They doing right.
Yeah. I would say Daredevil, and I can't the Batman developers.
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady.
Yeah. All right.
I'd say Rocketeer, and I can't think of a.
Rocketeer would be sick.
The Rocketeer?
Yeah.
Do Anthem.
So you said Anthem.
There you go. Yeah, get EA on there.
At least they got the flying.
I see you.
I see that.
So you said Phantom Kraken was the last one, right?
Right.
Yeah, I have them. I have them now.
You just read them. There's only like 4.
There's only 4.
Okay, good.
All right, please. We got to get going. We keep it.
Okay. Then we have Max Lazy Otaku, $5 super chat.
Keep your hands up, Chad.
Like it's a stick up. Blink twice.
Blink twice
if you're under duress.
Continue.
We got Max the Lazy Otaku with the $5 super chat. Lord Grubb, in the realm with the lords. Welcome, by the way. It's unhealthy to lick controllers.
I just like the switch.
I live that unhealthy life. So don't worry about me.
You gotta blow into him, Paul.
Oh God. Moving on.
Then let's put the crest in the chat for the newest member of the realm. So petty. So petty. I like it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give you the crest.
No doubt. What else we got?
Then we have the Safe Space Invader.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh God.
That's a violation.
That's horrible.
Yes.
Jeff, we need the fan blowing in your hair for the effect. Yeah, we need the R&B wind blowing.
Yeah, right.
That's what I said, man. That's a fun. That's
the boys. We need the boys to men effect.
Hey, the fan would have to be blowing so hard because I got that thick Scottish hair. Like it barely does anything when it's blowing on me. So yeah, blown away.
No doubt. Hurry up, Tom. Hurry up, because we got.
Then we have Free R. Kelly, $20 super chat. If you're broke, just buy Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have,
You know what's funny? Free R. Kelly is like the Christopher Hart that King can't say nothing because he's super chatting everything.
I love his interactions. I just told you the rich.
No, that's what I meant. Like he's that person that King's like, man, you put everything in color. I don't have nothing to say.
Definitely listen to the King.
All right, we got four more. That's four more. Pixelbit G, $2 super chat. Sony trolls have high energy and low intellect.
Wow.
Moving on. Hey, you guys know Marlon Gaming? He read my review for Returnal on his thing. And it was hard to listen to because he was reading all the words wrong, and it was breaking my heart. And I was I'm like, this is what happens. They were reading my review and they didn't know what I was saying, and that's why they're getting mad at me. I'm like, okay, that explains it. I love Marlon. I've been on his show, but it was heartbreaking.
Shout out to Marlon.
Shout out Marlon. Yeah.
Pixelbit G with the $5 super chat. Capping for $7 games is the equal of a simp capping to take jump off out. We all eating simps just paying. Y'all messing with show.
Bars.
Moving on. We
have the wise old gamer with the $2 super chat. Grubb's hair is equal to Mass Effect 1. Cognito's hair is equal to Mass Effect 2.
That was good. All right, I got you.
I'm using my hair against
you.
You
ordered something. You ordered something.
I give you that one. That was funny.
One is lush and one is a barren waste.
Oh my God. Shut up,
Then we have Abacaba72, $5 super chat. Shout out to Respawn and Oculus on their winning the Oscar last week for Best Short Documentary. Colette in their Medal of Honor VR game. I heard that documentary was insane. Very good.
There's another one.
Last one.
And
Max the Lazy Otaku. Yeah. Speaking of Jeff's hair, y'all remember that SpongeBob episode with the seahorse? And after COVID, we need Jeff to recreate that scene for the memes.
What? Right. Yeah. We got. Okay. Yeah. Right. I'll see what I can do. I'll get Photoshop open.
So look, Returnal. Main event. Y'all know what we here for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, as Saul says, y'all know what we here for. You know what I'm saying? So look, we already know before I spread it out to the rest of the lords, you know what I'm saying? Lord Grubb, we got you for a little while, and you've been in the news lately. And the reviews up on VentureBeat.com. We're seeing to draw a lot of attention. So I got a kind of a 3-part one-on-one question before we open this up, which is obviously the reviews out, you said what you said, and a lot of conflicting opinions for certain things. But tell us briefly why some of the community think you're paid off, and your hilarious response video to such people, a certain base that may think that you are not being true to the review of Returnal.
Yeah, I mean, really simple. What it comes down to is they don't read the review. I mean, it's that simple. It's very easy for me to tell that they didn't read the review because they come at me.
3 out of 5.
They don't say 3 out of 5. They say 60. You gave it a 60, and I'm like, well, for as a matter of fact, I never gave it a 60. I don't give it a 60.
That's right. Metacritic.
It's a 3 out of 5. They look at Metacritic or they look at a screenshot in their Discords or whatever, and then they come to me and say, hey, you gave it a 60. And right away, if that's what you're saying to me, I know you didn't read the review. Mm-hmm. I know you didn't go to my website and read it there and get all informed and then come to. So I know right away, I don't have to take you seriously. You're going to waste my time or I'm going to have a little fun with you. And if I'm stuck at my computer working anyhow, I'm going to have a little fun with you. So that's the best use of my time right there. Cause I'm like, this makes me feel better. I can just like kick you away and then go back about my day. And really, why shouldn't I? Because it's like they are they're looking for some reason to get mad. They want to feel good about the game that they're going to spend $70 about. I get that. I understand you want to feel good about it. But if you are just looking to get angry, at least go read the review. At least be accurate. Say you gave it 3 stars, and then we can have a conversation. Then I will defend my review to you. I will explain exactly what it is. But almost none of them, almost actually zero, do that. So I was not going to waste my time. But it's like when it comes to the game, it's like it's good. I like it. I put that in the review. The problems are structural, and they are sort of I would say that they are really detrimental to the overall experience, because at a certain point it can get sluggish. It can get boring because you are doing the same thing over and over, and that is roguelites. But other roguelites know how to make things feel varied. The builds can feel very different. The you can have really memorable runs where something weird happens, and you have like a really broken run where it's like, oh man, I'm way overpowered. That stuff just doesn't happen. Everything kind of just feels the same. And you aren't working towards other unlocks that are smaller, that are apart from the goal of beating the game. And so when you don't have these things to distract you, you're always focused on beating the game. And so when a run goes bad and you're back at the beginning, it's like, man, that was just a waste of run. What did I accomplish? Maybe I learned something, but probably I didn't. So yeah.
Don't feel bad, Grubb, because if you are doing really well, the PlayStation is going to correct that mistake.
Yeah,
so they're going to
crashed on me twice.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Let me. I want to back you before we get. I know we're going to deep dive with Returnal, the actual mechanics, the structure, but I want to focus back on the review part.
Yeah, please.
Metacritic culture and review scores. Like, do you feel this puts too much pressure as far as in the industry? Also, you just explained beautifully, right? You gave it a 3 out of 5. That's a solid score, right?
Yes.
But obviously, because the way Metacritic, converts it, it becomes a 60, and then it's kind of like lost in translation about how you kind of felt. So this is a two-part question, because shout out to Eliad. He actually dropped this for us in the Patreon group. He says, how can this system be changed to be less prone to manipulation, and like so that when you browse reviews, you could discern more about the game, as opposed to how it's getting review bombed, and also people who may have just skimmed through it. So like, what do you feel, just Metacritic culture in general?
Yeah, so when I'm writing my review and when I'm thinking about it, maybe going on Metacritic, I'm thinking about the person that is actually going to be using this information to make a purchase decision. That is my focus. That is the person I'm writing for in part. I'm also writing for people who want to like understand games and want to have a conversation about the way games work and talk about the art form. But also I'm thinking about someone who has $70 and trying to decide if they're going to get something good out of that purchase.
You're talking to the people that neither want Village or Returnal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're trying to, and they're going to make a tough decision with hard-earned money. And a lot of those people use Metacritic, and they go there and they look at the top scores and like, okay, that stuff vibes with me. Let's look at the bottom score, which I just happened to be. I did not know. I didn't know whether people were going to rate it. I thought there would be a lot more people around the same score as me. But they go look at the bottom score, and it's mine. And I want them to understand my criticisms, so that when they're spending their money, they fully understand what they're getting into. And so when other people are using Metacritic for their Flameboy Wars, I'm hesitant to blame Metacritic for that. This is this is a problem with those people. This is a problem with these kids for the most part, or grown men with issues, and it's like I'm gonna blame them. Like,
I love that. Yeah, go for it. That was fire. That was fire, Jeff.
And so again, it's like, come at me all day, and for the most part, I'm just gonna continue kicking you away, and then and that's it. And or I'll block you if you're being especially like an a-hole, and I'll move on with my life. It happens, and it's gone, and Metacritic is still there. And now the people who are using Metacritic, because these kids, they burn out, they go play the game, they come up with their own opinion, and for the most part, they forget about whatever they said while they were having terrible anxiety about whether or not they were going to feel good about this game or not. But Metacritic's still there to help people who are still trying to decide whether or not they're going to get their money's worth out of a game. And so that part, I'm like, I don't want to take that away just because of these petty little kids that are going to come at me. Like, let's have our little dance on Twitter. I'll have some fun with you, and we'll move on. And so for the most part, like I don't think it needs to change too much. These people are always going to have this anxiety about their games and about the system that they chose. And it'll get a little bit better as we get later in the generation. It's especially bad right now because you just spent $500 on it. And you're looking for validation for that money. You want to make sure that you made the right choice. And so every game has to nail it. Every game has to be an out of the park home run. And so and that's where it comes from. And that stuff it'll cool off as the game library starts building up and they feel better about their purchase as it moves down the road. So I'm not too worried about it. Like, this is what it is, and we'll get past it.
No, I agree. And you made some beautiful points, because I think the point about validation and, you know, this emotional response, because it's hilarious, because at the end of the day, one man's opinion of something that if you played and already liked, or even if you didn't play, right? This is one man's opinion of something, right? Yeah. So that shouldn't affect you where you are angry at that person because of this person's opinion. You don't need that validation. So I guess back to double down on it, like, why do you think the gaming community is so emotional? They put so much stock in the score, and that, you know, you're the enemy because my anticipated game that you reviewed that I didn't play.
It's crazy.
that you reviewed that I didn't play, that I'm gonna get mad at you. How dare you think about this thing I don't know about yet?
It's gonna go back. It goes back to that FOMO thing where, like, this, they've made their investment. They've picked their horse. They spent their money on the hardware, and anything else that might threaten that in terms of building a narrative where, like, yeah, that game's okay, but have you seen something else over there? It's like, no. All the good stuff is right here on the system I already bought. Anyone saying anything different is a threat to me mentally to feeling good about that purchase. And it's something that, you know, this is not my problem. This is your problem that you feel this way. I have to just tell you the truth in the review. And if you are going to react this way, I already know why you're doing this. This is why because you are feeling anxious, and you're going to come to me and put that anxiety on me. And don't, first of all, don't do that. And if you do it, don't be surprised when I'm licking controllers and making you seem like a trap back. Yeah. Like, I'm having a good time over here. I'm going to enjoy myself. I wrote this review. I did the work. I played the game. I told you how I feel. And you can engage with that or not, read it or not. I don't care. But don't come to me with all this insecurity. That's your problem. Deal with it.
Yeah. I have a question for Jeff quickly, because I write for a Scottish/English website every now and then, and I wrote a review for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Do you ever find yourself getting like DMs or emails saying, "Oh, your opinion's not valid, go kill yourself"? I'm like, it's sometimes I'm just scratching my head. It's like, what? Where do you come from with me getting enjoyment that you have to stoop down to a level where you have to tell someone to kill yourself? I'm just like, really? Like, it's like, oh, if I ever see you, like, dude, I'm 6'4", I swing a hammer, I will beat this shit.
Right.
It's just sorry, continue.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, it definitely happens. I mean, this time it happened because there was like the right-wing alt-right trolls that got involved. Yeah. They were mad at some woman's review that mentioned the Democrat and Republicans. And it's like, okay, you don't like that line, move on with your life. But like, no, this could be a lightning rod to like create like a bunch of people getting mad. And of course I'm like, it just, you know, she's a good critic. And then immediately they're like all sicking on me. And it's like, and I'm like, I know what you all are. I know that you guys are alt-right trolls who don't like, who always like come after this stuff. So you guys are so beneath my time. And then of course that just makes them more mad. So you just ignore them and I just start blocking them. But yeah, these are the people that are like trying to get me fired.
I actually want to jump in for a second, Irish. I just want to jump in. In fairness, because I know we have, this is a deep subject, and obviously the laws, we don't really do politics and all that stuff too much, but I do want to push back on the journalism aspect as far, again, this is my personal opinion. This is not what you did, Lord Jeff, in your review or anything like that. But I do feel like, me personally, with Lord's Giving, I don't believe in adding in political commentary into a review unless it's specifically relevant to the game, right? So if the game says or touches on a current narrative that's going on in politics or whatever, then I feel that's fair game, right? Yeah. But I feel if it's not in the game, you know what I mean?
There's no point.
Then it shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? No. And I just want to get that, just to be fair.
But you got to keep in mind that everyone's going to have their own reads on everything, and it's going to be different. And any game that deals with any human in any environment, someone can read that as political. And if someone does that, my best suggestion to anyone reading that would be like, oh, I don't like this, I'll just read a different review. Right. Like, that's fine. Like, I think if someone's reading into something that you don't necessarily see in the text yourself,
then I'm not exactly. I'm not going to take that review account. So for me, like, it's going to be all I care about is the game. how the game plays, how it makes me feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for you, there are literally dozens of reviews for you to get that stuff.
Exactly. And then if someone does something that, like, then okay, that review's not for me. I'm gonna focus on these reviews or whatever.
Right, and you can even you can mock the review if you think that this is a thing. If this line is like you think, oh, that's silly. Go ahead, mock the person writing it, whatever.
I don't even think you need to mock them though.
You don't have to. You can criticize critics. Is what I'm saying. Right. I'm a critic. You could criticize me if I write something that you think doesn't land with you. Criticize me, please. I think this is fair. But a lot of times it is. When it catches on with the alt-right or something like that, it's like it becomes something else.
Just a flame ignites. It's just
a flame, and they use it. It becomes their latest outrage sort of fuel for their content, and the grifters swarm in, and now we have to deal with them. And it's like it's so obvious what's happening there, where the grifters are like, okay, this is a way for me to make money for the next couple of weeks, where I just harp over and over.
This one thing,
Yeah, it's okay, but again, we know that now. A lot of us have learned that lesson, and we mostly know just ignore them, put them in their little pile, block them all when you get a chance. Right. But that's so and you're right. For the most part, I'll write stuff in a review that it's just about the game and how it works. And again, but
we all love games. We should all enjoy them. This I feel that this whole hatred for consoles. For me personally, I feel it started around the 360, the PS3 time, and then it just also started like igniting, and everyone's like, "Oh,
it was
you like this, so I hate you."
It was a little bit.
But I'm 27, 28.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
So, yeah.
The thing is no one's had social media this entire time.
Yeah.
To magnify their voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel you. No, I just want to get.
Sorry for taking your time.
No. I'm glad Irish brought it up. Grubb, I'm glad you actually engaged in discussion.
No, I appreciate that.
I
really
it was
do.
important, and this is something that we needed to talk about.
We should all just love each other. We like
it. Yeah.
We can all agree to disagree.
Exactly.
And be respectful. And I think that's
the thing is, like, I feel very good. I feel like very protected at my job. There are people who've tried to get me fired over and over and over for whatever.
Wow.
And then right now they're trying to get me fired for this review or the way that I'm like dealing with people on Twitter.
Wow.
And it's like, homie, do you realize my bosses know me? They know who I am, and they know what you are.
Right.
Like when
they're not going to listen to a comment.
And they're not going to fire me because you come and tell them that, oh, Jeff Grubb was mean to me online or blocked me or something like that. And it's like. Yes, and I feel very lucky to like be working with people that know me and understand where I'm coming from and respect that and like want to give me the safe space really to react how I want to trolls.
No, fair enough. So let's get back.
Absolute
on focus.
pleasure, sir. Thank you.
No, thank you for that. Let's get back on focus. The game, right? So now, I'm
the only one that hasn't played it. Don't hit me.
No, it's cool. So you and King can say what you guys want to say if you want to start first. King. I know.
Get me out of the way.
Yeah, get you out of the way, King. Exactly. For those who play or not play.
All right. First, I like to consume my games the way I've been accustomed to consuming my games now, which is through Game Pass. All right. I like choice. So if I choose to purchase said game after I've played the game, then I would do so. If I don't, I won't. And I feel that, I don't think that Sony has the deep pockets to engage in a Game Pass type thing on that platform in doing so, but they should give some way of an option in doing so. Give a 10-hour beta or something like that. Send a 10-hour window to play the game or maybe a 5-hour window because it's a roguelike or something like that to do so. Put it in PlayStation Now. Do something like that and to have me engage in your ecosystem. Now, I do see people playing the game and I say, oh, it's cool. I would like to try it. But again, I'm not trying it for $70 to feel like it's not for me.
Yeah.
You understand? So when I do read someone's review and I do look at someone's video online, I take away the positives and the negatives from it to extrapolate if that's for me. I do play a lot of roguelikes. I play Dead Cells. I play Neon Abyss and stuff like that. I want to play the Zeus game,
Hades.
And when it reaches my platform that I can get a chance to interact, or the way I consume materials, like I consume movies in that same manner, when it gets to that place, then I will interact with it. So for people that did purchase and they did take the plunge, and to hear that they didn't like it and it wasn't for them, or they was under assumption it was something else, and they're putting it up for sale now, I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
And I don't feel that in this day and age, I should be that guy.
I mean, even if it had a demo, right? Wouldn't that be better? Like,
Thank
even
you.
just a
That's
demo.
what I'm talking about. Let me try it first to see if I approve of it. So that's just my take on it, because I didn't have anything to do with it. Yeah. So I can't say how it moves and stuff like that, like you guys.
I feel you. No doubt. Addict, or you may have jumped away for a little bit, but let's get solved.
I'm here.
Okay. You want to start? Because I know you've got kind of the most time. Right.
Yeah, it's best if everyone. Well,
all right, so let's go least.
Just the only person
yeah.
that's put more time.
So let's go least to most. Lord Irish, I know you said, and Lord Sov, where you guys at hour-wise in Returnal?
Sorry, say that again.
I mean, because you didn't get it, right, Lord Irish? You didn't pick it up, right?
No, I was going to buy. I was like one click away from buying it, and I was like, no, like I got Republic Commando from Limited Run Games coming.
You're back low.
Resident Evil 8. I got Resident Evil 8.
Okay, fair enough.
And Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I was like, I'm going to play it for like 8 or 10 hours when I get time off work.
Yeah, I feel
like I'm going to play the games that I'm really looking forward to, and then I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to enjoy it when it, when all the patches come in, everything, people stop complaining about it. I can play it at my own pace. Everything. Okay. Because I keep going back to Demon Souls all the time.
Nah, I feel you, brother.
My God.
Backlog's real. Backlog's real. Solve, me and you about the same. I've only got like 4 or 5. I don't got a lot.
Right.
Time in it. So, you want to jump in?
Yeah. So for me, talking real quick to talk about the value proposition, right? I think the value proposition thing it's a subjective thing, right? If it's $70 is fine for you, then it's fine for you. If it's not, it's not. And that's a very subjective thing. That said, looking at it objectively, this game is the equivalent of 5 months of Game Pass Ultimate, right? So, when people are making that objective decision about what to go to, I understand that argument 100%. Right. For me, $70 was fine because I love HouseMarque. I love HouseMarque, and I've loved their games since Stardust. And for me, seeing them get this opportunity to shine at the AAA level is more than enough for me to want to invest day one just to give them that support. So that said, in regards to the game itself, I think in terms of movement, in terms of gameplay, it is vintage HouseMarque, and that means that is amazing arcade style gameplay. That game is so tight in terms of its movement, jumping, everything. So a lot of times when you get hit by something, it's you. It's not cheap per se. I haven't found it to be cheap quite yet. So what I do agree with Jeff about is that the game, it doesn't feel from run to run. If you've played Hades, right? If you've played Hades, every single run feels so distinct because the way the powers are used, it just makes it even visually, the way the powers are shown on screen makes it feel like so different from your last one. Where here, it doesn't. It's more in the minutia of the weapons, and even the effects with the weapons don't feel super different, right? So I can see how that sort of repetition can start to kind of weigh on people, because it does feel like the runs feel the same, even though underneath the hood you might be running very different sort of setups run to run. In terms of what I've seen so far from the story, I think it's cool, and I think the roguelite sort of type of gameplay fits the type of story they're trying to tell, where this person is in a time loop and they don't quite understand what's going on. I think it's perfect for that. In terms of production value, the game it feels like a AAA game. It feels like they finally got their shot to make that type of game, while still making the core of the type of games that they're used to making, which is arcade style sort of bullet hell games. So, I mean, for me, I enjoy it. The difficulty, I will say this. The difficulty so far for me, it's been difficult but fair. And I haven't had any of the crashes and stuff that other people have been having, thankfully. So it hasn't happened to me yet. So
not Outriders.
Yeah, exactly. Outriders is a different thing. Where I played Outriders day one, and once I heard certain stuff, I'm like, let me stop. I'll just wait.
Yeah, I put a halt on that.
Just out of curiosity. Okay, continue. No doubt.
So for me, I've gotten to the first boss and I beat that boss and thinking that it was over, and then the boss resurrected and then murdered me. So I'm there and I haven't gone back to my second run with it. So I haven't really seen how the second run differs from the first. But I'm excited to see what that brings. Because I think what I have seen is that it does kind of like a Metroidvania-ish, when you go back in, you have context for certain areas, even though they may be different physically, you have an understanding of what's there, what to expect there. Right. And there's that sort of aspect of getting something that you're not able to use in a particular run, and maybe it's available in the other run, and you have different avenues open to you that might not have been available the prior run. So I'm seeing a little bit of that. I'm excited to get back into it. Right. I like what I see so far, but HouseMarque games are traditionally arcade style, quarter muncher, quote unquote games. Right. I can see this game being frustratingly difficult for some people. For sure.
No doubt, no doubt. Let me jump in. Mine's just real quick, and then we got to get we got to Grub out of here too, or the time constraint, out of respect. Look, my impression is pretty similar to yours, Solve. Only difference though, honestly, I wasn't blown away graphically. I didn't feel like it was like wowing, but the 60 frames, the smoothness, the fast feel, love that. If you're a fan of like Aliens and all of that, Ripley, and like, this is gonna speak to you on a sci-fi level. You know what I'm saying? So that part,
you're intriguing me.
No, that part. If you like that stuff, you're gonna like it. I love her audio bits. And then as you discover what's really going on, thus the name and the loop, and oh man, you found your own body.
The PT part's got me intrigued.
It's fire. Yeah. So you got that. The dual sense, I gotta give credit. You know what I'm saying? The dual sense.
For sure.
I know Grubb didn't like the dual sense in his review.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like it's not. I don't like. I just feel like people still oversold it earlier, and it just feels like mechanical clicking to me and worrying. And it's just not blowing me away the way I thought it would. That's all.
And in this game, when you're actually in the midst of shooting, it's tough, because if you got to do like a half press on the trigger, it very easily, if you're running around, you'll do a full press.
Yes. You can remap your controls though, so definitely do that. Try that. I would do that. I'm because it moves, because the R1 button is unused, and so what it does, it just moves consumables to R1, and then you could put the special onto L1 instead. It works a lot better.
No, that's fair. Perfect. I think for me, because I'm such a techie, I love.
You don't want to turn it off.
Yeah, I like the nuances when tech is leveraged a certain way. So that's just me.
Yes.
But the only thing is, obviously for some, this is not going to be the type of game, the roguelike where you lose all your stuff. Some people are not gonna like it. But I do agree with Solve. I think it was, some parts were challenging, but not like crazy. But I got to talk about the elephant in the room. I know we're gonna get into it. I had to crash. And I'm seeing a lot of people with the crash. I thought it was isolated, and
it got too hot.
It crashed 2 times for me in about the first 20 hours. Right. So that's, and these are on hour-long runs. Right. That's like 10% of the time. Bro. That's losing. That's unacceptable. And a lot of times they've turned off features. So this is something that I think we're only kind of just realizing. There was an early feature when I was reviewing it where you would find other players' bodies in the world, and then you could like either fight them or just like take spin some ether and not fight them, but just get something less. Yeah. And that, I don't know. Have you guys seen that feature at all? Have you guys?
No.
Yeah. So they've turned it off. I think they turned it off because it was causing stability issues.
That's cool.
Wow. Crashes happen because it's a networking thing, and I'm still having like disconnects from the network, but I would come back from being in rest mode, and then I would try to interact with something like that, and the game crashed on me. So I think they're turning off features to stop this stuff.
It's an unstable box. So
now all I want to do is find
Jimmy. I didn't say it, Jimmy.
Question: Did anybody's game start to stutter when you get into the house and you look in the mirror?
But I've had some frame rate drops in quite a few areas, and never enough. I didn't put it in my review because it was never enough to really ruin the way the game felt.
Right. Let's get Attic in because he's got the most time, and then we get Grubb out of here because I know he's gonna go.
All right, so I broke this down into the good.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Notes.
All right, so Jeff, obviously you have had a huge extensive of your opinion on here. So what we're gonna do is, because we know you're on a time restraint, so me and you are gonna bounce back off these.
Let's do it.
So, to me, I'm gonna start with the bad because the bad. So is it me or did all the attacks look alike, Jeff? Like I felt like every attack, it was neither fireballs or blue fireballs. It was nothing in between or a red line. Like to me, the bios should have different forming attacks. It should look different. Am I tripping there?
No, you're not. It's not just the colors of the attacks. Like the animations from the enemies are also very subtle in a way that like feels like we're making a AAA game. We can have like subtle, nuanced animations. Like, no, you're making an arcade shooter. I need to know what's happening so I can respond to it. And it's like it takes time to get used to that stuff. So yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's talk about the randomly generated stuff. All right, to me, I thought the whole game was going to be randomly generated. That's what it made it seem like. Like every time you load into this, it's obviously going to have a different look. I didn't think they were going to be using the same rooms. Just instead of it being on the left, it's on the right, and that's what they did. Like,
yes.
It's not randomly generated; it's randomly generated rooms.
Okay, but this is not an issue though, because what you want to learn those rooms and put them in a different order.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
To me, it's not an issue, but at the same time, I feel like it should be one of those things where you run it 10, 15 times, then you start seeing, the same rooms.
Right.
Yeah. The second run, I saw the same room.
Right. But you want to learn the rooms, though. You do want to learn the rooms. The problem, where this is a problem, is with those special rooms where, like, you see the light and you fall down on the ground. First of all, the animation looks really weird when you're falling, but you go in these rooms and they are, like, almost always, like, 1 of 5. And when you see, like, the same one, like, 3 runs in a row or whatever, it's like very much like, this is actually boring.
Single one of them
it's like boring.
That's the point I'm talking about.
Erica said,
that's cool, Erica, but I'm on here. You ain't. So you go stay in the chat. I'm talking. You can.
We love you, Erica.
Okay, Erica knows it.
Adding his feelings right now.
Erica knows it. All right. Here's another thing I had issue with. I felt like some of the weapons were low-key useless. Like, I felt like the shotgun, I didn't get much. Like, I felt like unless I had that carbine, I wasn't doing a whole lot in the game.
Here's the thing. Sometimes the guns can be good, the guns that you think are bad, but it's hard to tell when they're going to be good and when they're not. Like, sometimes I'll get like a level 3 shotgun and it feels useless. And then I'll get a level 3 shotgun and one of the other characteristics changes and now it's very useful. And it's certain weapons are just always bad against the bats or whatever, and you're just screwed. And you're gonna have to like run and dodge, and just hope for the best. And if there's like eight around you, you're screwed. You're dead. That's it.
Now, obviously, we talked about the crashing, and I don't think we really need to re-bring that up. So when it comes to the guns, like I said earlier, this game is RNG entirely, just about. So I felt like they needed, like, how the fabric stores had like the fabricators at stores. I felt like they low-key needed a room for guns too. Because sometimes you would be sitting there going through these games and you don't have the gun you want, and you feeling like the RNG is against you completely, because there's nothing worse than playing this game with a gun you don't want.
Right.
Yeah. So that's like there's not a lot of variety in the way the game plays, but you could still get a bad RNG, and then those runs feel so wasted. They feel like such a waste of your time. It's so detrimental. That is the thing that really caused me to like feel like, this is a 3 out of 5.
I feel like if they would have had like a fabricator room just for guns instead of the fabricator, I feel like it would have been a lot more of, okay, I got this money. I don't know what the currency's called. They could even make it to where you trade ether for it, like the highest currency. And I think that would have been. Now, obviously, let's briefly talk about this. Save issues. People have an issue with no saves in it. Do you personally?
Y'all not selling me on this game.
Do you personally? No. Look, I might be talking a lot.
Maybe I'll buy it.
Hold on. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the bats. Okay, I'm almost done with the bats. I said I'm starting with the bats because I told Cognito there's way more goods than bats.
Okay.
So the save issue, Jeff, do you feel like that is an issue? And do you feel like if the developers wanted to make a middle ground, would you be okay with that? Or are you one of these people that want to gatekeep difficulty?
Oh my God! Damn!
I'm glad you framed it.
Thanks for framing it, Addicts.
Look, when I was reviewing it, it wasn't a problem. Why? Because I'm playing this one game for review. If someone was like, "Hey, Jeff, come play a game with me on PlayStation together," I would have to be like, "Wait, am I going to lose this run?" And the answer is yes. You have to turn off this game to start another game on PlayStation, and then you would lose that run if you want to go play Call of Duty with them. This is bad. The obvious solution is a save and quit. And the games had this on the Game Boy Advance. I remember saving and quitting in Advance. And it's like, once you start up the save again, it destroys that save, and then you just continue from there. The game doesn't have that. This is unacceptable. Yeah.
I feel like there could have been a good thing, because obviously on this game, it has to be towards of what their game does. Just all they would have to do is put a room that you had to spend like 5 ether to save. It like save and quit, not save.
Give it
Like
to me now.
You know, like from sitting here listening, right? And I know you said you're gonna start with the bad, but
I'm literally done with the bad.
Yeah,
All I have
but a
left
lot
is
of this stuff is like critical stuff.
Quality of life.
You're telling me if your friend pop up on the screen and says, "Yo, let's play this baseball," and I only got
that happens once, right? That happens once, and then you're like, I'm just not going to play this game anymore because if I'm just going to lose a run if I go to if you're someone who plays with your friends a lot. It happens once, and then you're like, I'm just putting Returnal down, I think.
Yeah, you got. All right, so it's just, I don't know. And then it crashes. I mean, a lot of this stuff you're saying is like real detrimental things. Now, let's get to the positives.
You about to do it.
The last thing I had that I did feel negative? Like, no, it's just one more. And we already briefly talked about it. I did feel like the game reward. I don't have an issue with that. I'd rather 60 frames than big resolution. Okay, so I felt like, I don't know about you, Jeff. Did you feel like the game rewarded you for being more of a long range fighter than anything else? Like, I don't feel like there was a lot of stuff that really pushed to be, different playing styles. It's like you felt more comfortable at like a good distance away from them than being up close to them.
Right. You would like these enemies, even if there's a bunch of enemies in the room, they usually come in groups that like predetermined groups. So if there's a bunch of enemies over there, you shoot at one and then you kite them over to where you are. And then you just fight 3 of them. And then you find the other group and you shoot them and you kite them over. And it absolutely is set up in a way that it rewards you for being safe and playing it back. And it's supposed to be like a hardcore, like nonstop action game. So it's a little bit of the antithesis of the way the game is like presented. And that's not great. It's like, that's a viable strategy. Maybe they're making that work. And there's other enemies later that will mess you up if you try to do this. So there's some balance later on, but I agree. For the most part, it rewards you from like attacking from far away.
Here's the good stuff. Right. And look, I know. This man hostage. I think this game has some of the best unique gameplay that you've played in a while. I get it that the 1080p stuff that King says, but they chose.
Oh, that's more negative.
They chose. They chose the 60 frames to make sure the gameplay felt really solid. I feel like we can all agree on the gameplay.
Oh, so couldn't do 60. At least.
Oh my god! You told me to keep it quick, but he over here talking.
Sorry, my bad. I'm just let me just sit down and I'll wait till you finish. We can't do 4K 60. That's off the table. Okay. Got it.
Okay, so I also felt like the Metrovania style was well done too. Yeah. It didn't feel like the maps were too, crazy. It felt like, when I go
same rooms over and over.
But the thing is like they reward you. I do the second area, you get the grappling hook, you can go places in the first area you couldn't go to.
Oh, okay.
So, but even though they're randomly generated, it's still nice to be able to just like hook shot onto something and just talk, like literally just sit above them, just picking them off. Like, oh, you can't get me up here.
So Doom Eternal.
It's a randomly generated same room.
Yeah. It's stitched together randomly, but they are predetermined, prefabricated rooms.
Okay.
One thing I definitely liked is I thought it was a great use of first person. I thought, when you're going through, they kind of get that Sony template on there. Would you guys agree with that? Where you're going through the first person to third person, like when you're in her little house or in the little ship, and like she's going through like the hall, like it's showing her. I felt like that was a little bit of that Sony template going in there a little bit.
Kojima's going to come out and slap someone.
I did feel like the DualSense was good, but I do see issues with people using it. Sometimes I would panic a little bit and I would go to like aim, like quick aim, and I would press it all the way down, which, that's more of a me thing and not anything. The biggest thing here, the perk system I thought was amazing. The 2 things I want to highlight is the bosses. I felt like the bosses were well done, besides every attack looking identical. How do you feel about the bosses, Jeff? Do you think the bosses were well done?
Yeah, they're intense and they're big and they're scary. And I think for the most part, I beat a lot of them pretty quickly, but I was okay with that because the levels are so hard to like have these like big, impressive bosses that take different forms and really they do still challenge you. But you're just so careful. And if you got to a boss, that means you had a really good build. And so you do have a really good chance of surviving. I thought they were really well done. They were entertaining and it was like always just pushing me just enough. I remember on the second boss, I did beat it the first time, but I had one of the tokens that bring you back to life. And I needed that because when I had just a little bit of life left on my first life,
astronaut suit.
Yeah, the astronaut suit. I dodged off the edge and fell and lost my life. And I'm like, oh no, that's how I'm gonna lose this boss. And then I'm like, oh yeah, the astronaut. I came back and beat the boss. And it felt really good. It was a really like good time.
All right, wonderful. So I got 2 more things.
Jesus.
Look, I cannot help that we spent 30 minutes talking about other stuff.
Go.
All right, I get it. Okay, 2 more things. One, I honestly feel like this game justifies Sony buying them if it was ever up to thing. I think this kind of quality game, because it's a great game. Besides all the bad I had, which is mainly nitpicking it, besides a couple of them, it's an amazing game. And look, like it's like Soft said, it's completely subjective if you feel like a game's worth $60, $70. I personally feel like I would have paid $70 for this game. Okay. I think the game's solid. The game.
What would you rate it?
I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I don't, but whoever gave this game a 10 out of 10, you better not have any crashing.
Well, if you only had like Jeff Grubb's 5 stars symbol that he had to use. Now, my question to you, if it's out of 1 out of 5 stars, how many stars would you give this game?
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
It's the same review, Jeff.
Moving on. You would give them a 60. Right, a 60.
So hold on. How you trying to tell?
Don't you say that.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm doing what they do on your review.
See, King's not doing that. King is trying to forcibly make my 8 6.
I just used the metric system.
Get to your second point, sir.
I combined them.
Okay, cool.
I honestly feel like this is a great game. I feel like personally it's definitely worth $70. I honestly feel like this shows that look, Sony needs to continue investing into smaller IPs because this is what this is. It's a smaller IP. This something like Last of Us. I think it shows the mentality that they might have might not necessarily be the right move, and they might need to refocus that a little bit. And I think if they go to purchase a studio, this is a solid game for them to look at to buy the studio.
No doubt. Look, gotta respect this man that we have abused this man's time. So look, Lord Jeff,
cheers.
Absolute pleasure to have you in the
please,
room.
all mine.
Really respect you. Love your thought process, your outlook, your journey in the games industry. To be honest, I love that you're one of the few that doesn't afraid to have fun. Like in the industry,
what are we doing here? It's games, guys. Let's have fun.
Have fun. You mix it up. Tremendous respect. Every podcast I've got the chance to work with you on, it's always been an absolute pleasure. Where can the fine people find you? What you have going on, sir?
Yeah, just get me on Twitter. I don't follow me. I tweet too much. But if you are interested in my stuff, there's links in my bio there. Come hang out on the Discord.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah. And then the YouTube channel, just it's Jeff Grubb's Game Mess. You can just Google it and find it. But yeah, come hang out. It's if you have any questions, just at me on Twitter. I try to respond when people ask me stuff. Or just like I said, the link to my Discord is in the bio on my Twitter. Come hang out with us there. You can ask me questions there as well. But yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. This was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, brother.
Yes.
Again,
pleasure meeting you.
Quality work.
Yeah, likewise.
We messed up when we talked about that game for like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
we
went late.
My bad.
Everyone say your outros to Jeff before so you can leave.
No, I love that game. Jeff, I love your stuff.
Thank you.
A lot of the rooms and stuff that you're in, you are a treat. You're a treat.
Thank you.
And I wore the purple today for your royalty, for the fact that you do bring something great to our eco space.
Facts.
And the fact that you did talk about a game that I am thoroughly interested in right now. And you sold me on the game. Listen, keep doing what you're doing.
Facts.
The hell with all the haters. And as far as that try to get them fired crap, listen.
It's not gonna work.
It damn sure isn't gonna work. But for all the stuff that y'all did say, Addy came up with the same exact score that you did.
No doubt. Lord, let's have outros and then Lord Irish to Jeff.
I definitely appreciate you coming on, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
What I like is I've noticed a lot of journalists and people that cover the industry. They kind of low-key trying to stay in the center. They don't try to it's not necessarily not be themselves, but they try to tone themselves down. You know what I'm saying? But you're like, I don't care.
Oh, no,
Max.
He's about to smoke. He gonna be himself. He gonna be
I cannot help it.
And I find that is a fresh fresh thing that you don't see a whole lot.
Facts.
You know, sometimes Cognito come be like, "Yo, did you see what Jeff posted on Twitter?"
Yeah.
Because we scheduled it,
Can't
and
help
then the
myself.
Returnal thing happened. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be spicy on ILP.
Yeah, no. To be fair, we scheduled this before Returnal came out.
We did not clickbait Jeff Grubb for this.
Nope.
That was real. Yo, Saab, y'all chose to go, man.
Yeah, for sure, Jeff. Love your stuff, man. I love your honesty. I love how over the past year you've just risen kind of in stature online. And like King said, forget the haters, man. Love your haters.
Oh, yeah.
Love your haters.
Oh, he had fun with them.
Oh, he loved them.
He loved it.
Exactly. That's
Just
exactly.
increase your post reach.
That is exactly how you handle them.
No,
And of course, I have to appreciate the epic man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yo, now
sir.
somebody said he's using Xbox shampoo for that. I was dying.
Yeah.
Continue. I thought that was the funniest. I was like, yeah, he's paid off. They used Xbox.
Yeah.
Lord Irish.
No, and you know what's funny? Knowing Jeff, I'm surprised he didn't show.
I'm
them,
surprised
like,
he didn't use it knowing Jeff's personality. That's a great one. He retweeted it. No, he retweeted it. Lord Irish,
Oh, yeah.
outros to the legend.
Alan, just absolute pleasure meeting you. Like, I followed you for a while. You just like, I don't know, you just seem like a really fun guy. You're like, pandemic over, if I'm ever over E3, you're there. Like me and you.
Please.
Drunk, man.
Facts.
Like,
Yes, let's do it.
Facts.
couple of pints, talking video games.
No doubt.
chill.
That'd be great.
Like, as they say, don't listen to the haters. I certainly don't anymore.
Mhm.
Just keep doing you as you do, bro.
No
Like,
doubt.
Thank you, man.
Rob,
Yeah,
have
likewise,
a good one,
man.
brother. Salute.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Thanks, guys. I'm gonna get out. Have a good one.
You too, bro.
All right.
All right, man.
Sorry for keeping you so long.
No, no, you know what? I'll put you guys on the phone with my wife. You can tell her.
Peace. Saab, get the super chat, bro.
Okie dokie. All right, hold on a second. Let me roll back a little bit.
And now you're stuck with the Irish guy.
We're stuck with that Irish guy.
Hold on a second. I gotta roll it back. Too much.
Roll it back.
Dios mío was the last one. Okay, we have Max, the lazy otaku, $5 super chat. Lord Grubb in the realm with the lords. Welcome, by the way. It's unhealthy. Oh, we read that. We read that. Then we read So Petty. Welcome to the realm. Safe Space Invader. We got. What?
It's kind of crazy.
Okay, the Wise Old Gamer, $5 super chat. The best way to play Returnal with minimal difficulty. Act like a little boy on the Neverland Ranch or a little girl on the Epstein Island. Oh my God.
Oh,
yo.
my God.
Stop you. Anyway, continue.
Damn.
Continue.
Wow.
Moving on.
Wow.
Moving on.
Shimmy that. Shimmy that.
Moving on.
The
Let's
video
go.
is get flagged.
Then
Flag
shout out to So Petty for upgrading his membership to
So-
Lord Gold. Thank you. Put the crest in the chat once again.
No doubt. No doubt.
Then we have Mass Erect with the $2 super chat. You can't save, quote unquote, Returnal.
Wow.
Then we have Hargeet Chennai with the $25 super chat. What's going on with Activision and Microsoft? Are there any Activision / Blizzard games in Game Pass right now? Anything happening there? COD and Game Pass. Interesting move, especially exclusive content drops EA each month for GPU subs, so Game Pass Ultimate subs.
Okay. Interesting.
And we have Lord Roughness with the £5 super chat. Returnal looks good, so maybe not now, but I'm telling you, those $70 games are gonna feel like a punch in the eye every time real soon. Yeah.
They're only getting 2 games this year anyway. So
Oh
no
my
matter.
lord. Value is
If
in
you
the
brought
eye.
one already, it's over.
I'm gonna go into my grave and I'm still gonna have about 100 games I still haven't finished. Like
Yeah,
it's
we
just
got-
never ending.
Yeah.
That's time. Let's go, Saab.
Phantom Kraken with the $10 super chat. Good reviews means everything to a certain fan base. So if a score is not to their liking, the mob comes out to do everything to correct it. Remember Uncharted 4 IGN review and how they got attacked. Mind you, Uncharted 4 got a 9. It's crazy.
It's just funny. People put so stock in another man's opinion of a game they supposed to like.
It's crazy.
It's supposed
People
to,
are
Grown
crazy.
men emotional
that,
about that.
that they have
That's the
not yet
thing.
played. That they
Yeah,
have
that they have
yet
not played, but they're
People older
emotional
than
about
me.
another man's feeling about it. Continue.
Mass Rat once again with the $2 super chat. It's pretty bad. You can't share your opinion anymore. Oh yeah,
Amen to that, brother.
You just got to do it and know that there's going to be smoke behind it. But oh well.
Yep.
And just laugh in their face afterwards.
Exactly. Poochie, welcome to the round, Poochie.
Poochie! That's the homie. Big
There goes
Pooch.
Poochie.
Big Pooch.
Hey, my man Pooch.
It's my man. Pooch.
Then we have Free R. Kelly with the $5 super chat.
God.
Sony don't need to make a Game Pass. They the market leaders. Xbox needs Game Pass because they lost their players. King, you getting robbed every month.
The crazy thing about it is you can't be the market leader with only 7.2 in the market because the other ones is in somebody's warehouse. And 23 million, you already started off as a loss. Please put the dunce hat back on and corner.
Continue.
It's all a demon. It's all a demon. The demon.
I'm done. Stop, Irish. Continue.
Then we have Clutch Man with the $5 super chat. Are you playing Returnal, afraid to turn off your console and lose your progress? We have a console for you. It's the Xbox Series X featuring Quick Resume.
Oh my God.
He's not wrong,
Quick
though.
Resume. I had to, people were wild in the chat with that. Continue.
Then we have Jean-Marc Louis with the $2 super chat. Quick Resume for the win.
No doubt, no doubt.
And we have Mass Erect once again with the $2 super chat. Sony wants you to pay to save. It's another tier to save the game.
Ridiculous.
Then we have our brother Luke Lore, aka the Xbox Expansion Pass, $5 super chat. Salute to Jeff and ILP. Good to see you guys. Likewise, brother. Free R. Kelly once again with the $5 super chat. King talking about 4K 60 FPS when the medium dropping to 900p.
You know what's the crazy thing about that? It was in Game Pass. That's the wildest thing, right? Isn't it nuts that it was in Game Pass? And how did my wallet feel when I played my 900p Game Pass game? It felt great. But how do you feel, sir? $70 lighter. God bless. Drink up.
Savage.
You feel like my glass empty.
Yo, moving on.
Yo, King's comebacks today
His
are
clap
on point.
is on fire.
Then we have coming at Attic once again. Dan Lazaro, $2 super chat. More Cog, Sob, and King, less Octo. Joke, but for real.
That man put in work, man. He
Dan
put in
Lazaro.
pain. He get it finished.
He's really playing.
Okay. Dan Lazaro was the last one. You can keep talking. I'll
All right,
catch
cool.
up.
So that was like, yeah, I see.
It's fine. These people until they start streaming.
I got it. Never mind. I got it. It's quick. We have So Petty with the $10 super
I
chat.
love that
So
name.
petty.
Thanks to y'all. I chuckle anytime I walk past the TCL.
I do
But
too.
for the serious
I do too.
PlayStation player, he doesn't chuckle at all.
I'm done.
Then Gerald Mack with the $5 super chat. At So Petty, so do I. Then we have Malik Tyler, $5 super chat. Just waiting on Battlefield 6.
Oh,
doubt.
those
that looks
screens got
very
leaked.
nice.
Yeah,
Very
no
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt.
Then we have Flame, $5 super chat. R. Kelly, let's face it, the medium renders 2 worlds, more workload. Returnal has 1 room to render each time.
He getting
That's
technical
kind
with
of
it.
true.
He getting
Once they
technical with
said
it.
they only got 5 rooms to move with, I'm like, come on,
Getting
man.
technical.
It's not that it's 5 rooms. It's just like, let's say there's 20 rooms that it feels like they've made. They're rotating where those rooms are.
Yeah, I think
okay.
in your second run, you kind of expect to see every room different, and that's not the case.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll literally go outside of the first area, and there's a good chance you'll see an area that you saw the last run on the
Attic.
second one.
Well, like what I was hearing is like when you walking from room to room, there's really no action.
No, there's action. It's just some rooms are empty and some aren't. Like,
Oh, so you got empty
yeah,
rooms
there's
too.
some like you'll go into a room and there'll be a chest there. They usually have a chest room in the first region just so you can get another gun.
Right.
But the randomly generated room wasn't an issue. It's just I brought that up.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
So are we finished?
We're good. We're caught up.
All right.
You know, I watch your streams, right? You know, I'm just out here
Yeah, he
just
out here.
playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
we
just
got one
playing
more.
the wild devil's advocate.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Then we got Free R. Kelly, $5 super chat. Y'all
Dang.
sipping for the medium. Have a good Sunday, y'all. I'm going to Canes.
Well, you better finish your game of Returnal before you walk out the house. Or did he crash on you again?
and please, after the Jazz thing, there's no issue between me and
no
Erica.
beef.
Don't be thinking this beef.
Oh yeah, that's love. That's
I
love.
literally made a joke with Jazz like 8 months ago, and people think we hate each other
Yeah,
for
nah,
something.
it's all love. Look, let's do this last topic. Fly out of here because we are crazy.
Oh, there's another topic.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's another one. I'll set it up for King if you don't mind. Look, man, Microsoft Store.
PC, the revenue.
Yeah, developer revenue share increasing 88% August 1st. So it looks like new Xbox Wire post. Xbox Game Studio head Matt Booty confirmed that the developer revenue share for PC titles sold on the Microsoft Store will be increased to 88% from the current 70%. This change will go into effect August 1st. And then kind of breaking before we did the podcast, shout out to Tom Warren and The Verge. Looks like Microsoft is also kind of applying a similar strategy with Xbox Game Store itself. So they look like they're going to cut. Big. Yeah, that's pretty big. To cut its Xbox Store cut to just 12%, according to confidential documents filed in the Epic's Games versus Apple case. Shout out to Hogan, he's all over that. The software makers, they said they were list the 12% cut to PC games announced this week. While most of the important parts of the document are redacted, one page reveals Microsoft also wants to reduce its 30% store cut on the Xbox console side. So this kind of just.
Don't forget the Stalker exclusivity.
Yes, we saw the 3 month. Yeah, we saw about that. So let's get Attic in real quick. Quick hitters on this.
People that don't see this as a big deal, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, as in it's a huge deal. Because why you think Epic doing what the Epic's doing? It's not just the money that they're handing out. It's the bigger cut. Like when you treat developers and you give developers more money, it's going to be easier to do everything else.
Right.
For instance, you know how like Persona and stuff doesn't come out. It's going to be easier to get stuff like that on your platform. It's easier to get timed exclusives because you're like, look, like we can get a timed exclusive. You can put it over there anywhere. You're going to make more money from us anyway. So
it's all good.
Especially Sony don't respond and drop theirs.
That means what is Sony at 70-30 or?
Yeah, they're still at 70-30. Like, imagine if Microsoft is only taking 12 and Sony's taking 30. Like, developers are going to start pressuring on Sony, and that might cause some friction between them. And then that might cause some friction between them. Like, obviously this is like if these are circumstances, but if there's anything that will upset developers and publishers and companies in general, it's money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if you feel like, Microsoft give me almost all my money, we just giving them 12 and you taking 30.
Yeah, it makes
there's going to start being issues. Like,
let me get King. This is his joint. King, man, I know you brought this to the
someone
table.
said percentage of what? You might need to explain that a little bit more.
I'll explain it to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, King, you want to jump in now? Or you want to wait on it?
Yeah, no. This is how it goes. When you have really deep pockets, this is what their fear was, right? The fear of waking up Microsoft, because they always said Xbox, is like the bastard child of Microsoft or whatever, and they weren't really taking it serious. Or some people would flip it and say, "Oh, you have all this money and you're not in last place. You're not using your money to effectiveness." Well, right now they have woken up. You have woken up a beast.
The dragon
is really out of control at this point, and I feel by the end of the year they should be at least 30 to 32 million on subscribers on Game Pass. And what happens is when you have that,
and if Halo's good, King, it could be way more than that.
Yeah, it could be. I'm just being modest in the approach because we have low seasons in the summertime.
Right.
But we don't know if those games, because of COVID, will change how games drop going forward, because they do need to hit these milestones when it goes to the boardroom to end at the fiscal period. Like, Jeff Grubb was saying, Horizon should hit somewhere around December, probably January, to meet that fiscal deadline, if the game isn't ready yet to push that stuff. But I say this to say this, right? If they are this is how you strangle your competition. I mean, literally strangle your competition. Because if the industry standard is 30%, right, and you decide no longer am I going to take 30% from everyone, I'm going to only take 12%.
You gotta be in position to do that.
Your pockets, first of all, you have to be flush enough in cash to take that hit, because you're losing bread right off the rip.
Facts.
Right? But at the same time, you are putting pressure on your competitor to either follow you in this space or fold.
Yeah, this
is blackjack now.
If they don't follow them, it's like I said, they're going to cause friction with everyone that they're doing. So
So when you push the chips in the middle of the table, this is how you counteract contracts that you've seen. Now, those contracts are standard, and when they say they want to non-compete with certain things, like I don't want you to put it on their service because it's detrimental to how I do business. Right. This is more detrimental than even putting it on Game Pass, because now what happens is if Resident Evil is launched on your platform, you'll get a 30% cut, but over here they're only taking 12% out. I'm gonna make more money.
That adds up. That adds up real fast.
I'm going to work more with them.
Yep.
Period. So this is huge. This is how you change the game, and this is how you continue to push the narrative forward. When I brought this up, we didn't know about.
We didn't even know about the
Microsoft Xbox portion of it. We knew about the PC because we knew the PC market is what they're looking at.
Right.
I'm telling you, at this point in time, they're really taking the gloves off, and they're going to beat these dudes into submission. This is the part right now when it's about over.
My question to you, King, is: do you think this is going to be something that they openly do with everyone at first, or do you think they're only going to do it with certain people at first before they roll it out to everyone?
Okay, so and to answer your question, when somebody gives us a super chat of $1, right? Do we value him more than the person or less than the person that gave us $100?
The exact same.
No. So you're going to treat everybody the exact same. So every developer will be treated the same. And I think they're just going to roll it out across the boards, because you don't know who's the next HouseMarque from indie developer. This helps the indie developer out tremendously.
Yeah, that's what this is going to get quicker, because it's like I said, like if you were having a hard time getting marketing deals, this would make it a lot easier, because it's like, look, like they're helping us out money wise. They're giving us a bigger cut. What you doing, Sony? Like,
it changes.
Let me give some clarity. In the Tom Warren article, when I guess they about these documents that were, found, these confidential plans, they approached him and they said, Microsoft did the general statement, we have no plans to talk about at this time. But he said that suggested these plans have either fallen through, changed significantly from January, or Microsoft isn't ready to announce the changes just yet.
There's no comment yet.
Right. So either way, Microsoft has clearly been planning this change and wants to cut its Xbox fees somehow. So let's get Lord Irish in and then Lord Saab. Lord Irish, like, when this news came across, like, how do you feel about this?
Man, and to be honest, I'm happy. Like, I'm glad they've dropped the revenue. I mean, like, if you put the library of Steam compared to Xbox and PlayStation, it's colossal. So, like, games that just released recently, like Darkside Detective and stuff, their indie developer, he actually was my college professor for gaming, but it will let these guys come quicker to console. They know they're getting, like, Steam takes something similar to Sony 70/30, I believe, as well. They will come quick. You'll see more indie games coming to Xbox. Like, it'll just soak it up. I think it's nothing but a good thing. Like, even with the whole Stalker thing, people are losing their mind about it not being exclusive. I think it's 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
Stalker came out in 2007. The DLC Call of Pripyat came out in 2010, and people have been complaining that there hasn't been a second one. Half the developer team made Metro. The other guys made Chernobylite. If this goes on PlayStation and Xbox and PC, buy it. You will see a Stalker 3. Like, do not be upset that it's going for. They're not, like, we got Bethesda, we got everything. PlayStation have their own. Third-party developers, let them go on. Let them make their money. Let us all just enjoy the same games.
No doubt.
Like, seriously.
No doubt, I agree. Lord.
But the revenue thing, I'm happy they decreased it. Like, I mean, Phil Spencer. Are you all familiar with Spyro?
What you said, Spyro?
Spyro, the game.
Oh, the game, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a guy called Moneybag that used to open money. That's Phil Spencer. He's just there, like, I got.
He's just throwing it out. Okay, throw the bill.
Like, I'll take it. Aaron Greenberg there, just like happy ass. So, like, I mean, like, Xbox they turned it around from the Xbox One era, and I'm so happy.
No doubt.
Like, I own and run an Xbox page, but I play on absolutely everything.
No doubt.
So let them keep on going and doing their thing. I'm happy with it.
No doubt. Respect. Powerful move. Lord Saab, your thoughts on this before we get about here, man?
I mean, you guys have really touched upon all the points that I agree with. For the longest time, I always wondered, why Xbox is playing a small game with big pockets for the longest time. And I'm just, they were going tit for tat with PlayStation when they didn't have to, right? And I know that, you know, for a long time, Xbox, like King said, is a stepchild, right? And now it's different. Now they're integral to what Microsoft as a whole is doing. And you can see that confidence is there when they make moves like this. On the PC side, I just think when you look at the Microsoft Store and you compare it to either Steam or Epic Game Store, it's just not, it's not there. It's not there, and it needs to get there, especially with their plans to now expand Game Pass PC to kind of, I don't know about parity with Xbox Game Pass, but at least better in terms of the amount of options they're getting, right? So they want to bring traffic to that store. And the way to do it, if you're still having trouble sort of figuring out your front end and how that looks and how you, in terms of the visibility and getting people there, the way to do it is to get the games there. And when you get the devs willing to work with you, when you're giving them that much more money in their pockets, it's only a positive thing. And they're doing what they need to do to bring up the status of the Microsoft Store on the PC side. Now, to hear that on the Xbox side,
which is the wow.
Is like what King said, like they've taken the gloves off. It is once again.
Is this a who did that for you, man?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I gotta give it, you know, for the longest time, I felt, you know, Phil is the man for the job, but I've always felt he's too nice. And in the past 6 months have shown me that this, you know, he's a beast.
The quiet one got the gas.
He's a quiet assassin. He's a quiet assassin. He smiles as he's sticking the knife in the this move on the console side is huge. Like Attic said, it's huge because when you talk about the numbers in Game Pass continue to increase. And the thing that I've always talked about is like, now you reach the point where the argument is that you're going to lose money if you don't put a game in Game Pass. Now you couple that with the fact that you're giving them more than 80% of the profits coming into anything in Game Pass or anything in the Microsoft ecosystem. When you're a dev and you have limited resources, if you're a smaller dev or a mid-sized dev, you have limited resources and you have to think about where my game goes first.
If you can only develop one console, we got a console for you.
Yo, you stupid.
That was good.
Console for you? That was good.
And it's like if you think about the past, especially the start of the PlayStation 4 generation, it's hilarious. It was a perfect, like, boom, we fit right in there.
That was an Addict's World moment.
But when you look at the start of the PS4 gen, all those indies were going to PS4 because they're the market leader, whatever, going in. They had a lot of buzz around PlayStation 4. Xbox One had negative buzz, and that carried over. And now Xbox they changed that narrative, right? They changed the narrative because they showed that they cared more than PlayStation did towards the end of the PS4 generation, obviously.
Right.
But now you have that, right? That sort of dedication to the indie game, in addition to the monetary pluses you would get going with Microsoft. Man, like they're really
changing it on its head.
They're really changing the argument. They're really making it difficult for somebody who's developing a game to look and say, there's no reason.
Why would you not be over there?
Someone in the chat said Phil was a ruthless guy with a smile.
With a big smile on his face. And the thing is, and like King had said,
cat.
They're going to a place that I do not think PlayStation is willing to go. I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens. So it becomes yet another check mark on the Xbox side as to why, services wise, they're killing it.
Imagine if they dropped the paywall when they hit 30 million subscribers too. Like it's like I said, it's going to cause friction with gamers. It's going to cause friction with developers over the cut. You know, like Microsoft really is hitting Sony on.
They don't care what they're making or not making from it. If you didn't we just hear that we might get like premium Spotify into Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah, so if that is the case, that we were talking about, you know,
that coconut rum.
Yeah. It's just adding value.
You stupid Irish. Continue.
They're just gonna keep piling on value, man.
That was that coconut rum.
It looked good. It looked good.
Rum was hitting different yesterday.
I'm gonna get some after this.
With all the stuff that's going on, it's like, you know, I know there's some anime fans in the chat. Like they might as well be shadow clone jitsuing. And like Naruto's Microsoft and Sony is anyone he just decided to do that move to, and kicking them in the air, and he's
okay. So wait, we have some clarification that it ain't happening.
No, they put out the statement saying, that's what I said kind of earlier, that they basically, Microsoft's like, no, we're not. Whatever. So it's one of those at this time.
At this time, we're not
ready to talk to you about confidential things that you saw.
Once we liquidate the person that leaked it, once we liquidate that person, then we'll do it.
Exactly. Let's get find the snitch and then lash them.
Kick into every office. Who's talking?
Exactly. Look, let me give a pause because we're going on. To be honest, this is kind of crazy. I agree, King. I apologize. Look, this is crazy. Like King's point, you know, just the initial announcement was big, right? Just the initial prospect of being, you know, devs getting their cut. And at the end of the day, listen, I'm pro dev. I've always told y'all that. Like, I'm about the dev getting their bread. So all this, I'm worried about how Microsoft's gonna survive. I don't care. I don't care. Like, their pockets is big. They can do what they want. I don't care. As long as the devs eating, we get the games we want. The studios stay alive. That's what you should be caring about. Stop worrying about,
preach.
I don't know if it's viable. I don't know.
Do you really think Microsoft makes a play that's going to put them in jeopardy?
And what's funny is Microsoft don't care about these dudes' feelings. Like, it's so funny to me when people with this fake concern about corporations that's making wild bread. Like, I find that so funny. I don't know. You know, I don't know if I should take advantage of this great deal that's benefiting me and developers and studios. I don't know.
Stop. It's heinous.
Yeah, it's like I got a fraud alert on these dudes. It's like, stop it. You look foolish, and all it does is expose your fanboy.
You know what it is, Todd? Yeah. You know, the bottom line is just like Jeff Grubb explained today. Yeah. I did $500 over here. I cannot do that over there.
Yeah, somebody in the super chat, we're going to reel later. It's, the price of the brick is over there.
It's
so
crazy.
I'm sorry. You got to go make your move over there. I'm sorry. And like Addict said beautifully, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how many times we've gone to the shows and we see a great game, right? Addict's off game, right? And we like, damn, this would be so cool if you had the Xbox port. Like, some studios are just positioned to just make one game. So who you think they're gonna choose when the price of the joint is lit over there? You know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing. This is so cool
and
for
not
developers.
To mention, they can get the bag for the extra money, and they can get the Game Pass bag if they're able to.
Bro, it's options, right? You could get a Game Pass bag. This is good for gaming, y'all. Like, devs,
it's good for all of us.
There's a book, a guest we're gonna have come out talking about the opposite sides of when these studios gotta close, or if the game don't hit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people in those situations that you don't hear about. And your favorite studio, and you don't get a sequel to that game no more, and it's over. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing we got to focus on. Stop pocket watching corporations' money and look at what's happening for the beneficial of the industry. That's it. I'm done preaching. I got to get my balls off. But look, let's get the super chats. Get up out of here, y'all.
Bet. So we have Phantom Kraken, $5 super chat. Simple. Someone is selling the 8-ball cheaper.
Facts.
Who do you think is getting the most clientele? The competition is getting choked. Yeah, that's true.
That plug is getting the good.
Lit, bro. It's lit. Let's go.
Then we have Michael, aka Best Size Finest, $2 super chat. Phil Spencer is the modern day Michael Myers.
That is funny.
No. Then we have Raiden Blade, £2 super chat. Missed last week and just got home. Thank you, brother. Get your rest. Then we have Gerald Mack. With the $5 super chat, Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer is a Bond villain.
Did you miss the Tyler one? Phil Spencer needs a statue outside of Xbox.
Oh, no,
like
I missed
Shaq,
that one.
all hell Phil Spencer.
I'm gonna tell you that's
in Washington D.C.
The way this stuff is going is gonna happen.
Oh, Malik Tyler. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, I still don't feel he's a Bond villain because Bond villains are dumb in the long term.
Yeah.
He's not dumb.
You're not.
He's Kaiser Soze. He's gonna walk.
Unusual suspects.
Listen, he's a Bond villain in a world with no Bond.
He actually gets away with it. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That's it. We're caught up.
The pocket watching thing is stuck.
Pocket. Oh, thank you, sir. Hold on 1 second. Let's get things right on a technical level. Let's get things right. Pocket watch. I was in my feelings with it. Left it too long. You know what I'm saying? Too many dudes pocket watching. But anyway, look, poll. All right. So when the review scores are finally released on a highly anticipated game, if the score from some media outlets come in lower than expected, how does this affect your opinion of those outlets? The choices are: A, I have to question the integrity of the outlet and the reviewer, especially if there's a huge disparity. B, reviews are subjective. I only care about the overall impressions and will ultimately decide myself. Or C, I don't care. My whole existence is tied to the review score. I need to throw my Metacritic score in your face. That is the choice.
That's a long. I don't know if that's long.
Rock the vote when it goes up. Salute to Lord Jeff Grubb, the legend, and of course, the newest acquisition, the LordsOfGaming.net. My man, Lord, the Irish Carp. Lord Irish, what's going on, brother? Where can the fine people find you? What else is going on?
Just find me on Twitter at the Irish Carp. Or an Xbox fan, you can find me on Everything Xbox on Facebook with 38,000 followers.
Flex.
I do love Xbox, but I play everything else, and you'll find that out. I do tell people, if someone says PlayStation sucks, I'll be telling them,
get on.
You have one.
Exactly. That's right.
But guys, absolute pleasure. I really I've been talking to Cognito for a while. King David, you crack me up every time. I do not watch podcasts at all. Like this, and sometimes Joe Rogan, just a little bit. But King David, I actually spoke to you about a month and a half ago about your Halo 1 statue, and I was just like, dude.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, your Halo 1.
Yeah.
I was just like, bruh, where'd you get that shit?
Oh, yeah.
That's Lord Sovereign and Addict, you always crack me up. Addict, you're my Demon Souls guy. And I didn't have a swear button. I swore less.
I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Yeah, you were good. You were on best behavior. I was worried because when the liquor hit the system, I was just worried. I was just joking. Now you did your thing, brother. You did your thing.
Always
tremendous.
And shout out to Ubisoft Canada.
Yes, shout out
to Ubisoft. I hope whoever won has a great time. And by the one thing before I go is there's a DLC coming out for Assassin's Creed called Wrath of the Druid. Now, because of the pandemic, I've been living in Toronto for 4 years this year. It's a beautiful thing for me because you get to go to Ireland. I haven't seen my parents, my brother, my nephew in 4 years, and I get to go visit Ireland in a virtual world. And that's something beautiful. That's one thing people forget about gaming. Bring you somewhere where you can't go.
No, that's huge, brother. Especially this pandemic and this time, gaming is definitely.
Yeah, it's hard.
Together. Yeah, absolutely.
But once it's all over, I'll come see you guys.
Oh, you already know. The drinks is lit. We're gonna build.
Well, hopefully we can get to Germany this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a double one. No doubt. Lord Addict. Where can the fine people find you? What you got going on, sir?
So let me pause my music. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Addict ILP. Did someone just hide Jeff Grubb? Or
no. Somebody.
Jeff Grubb just called me back.
Yeah, Jeff said he's in the mix. Jeff in the mix in the chat. I like it.
How's it going, Jeff? Thank you.
Oh, okay. No, I thought someone followed him.
I
thought someone got him up out of
that. Nah. Jeff Grubb he regulated. We gave him regulation power.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Obviously, you can follow me on Twitter, Lord Addict ILP.
On Twitter.
Look, Twitter.
Thank you.
That's
Twitter. That was still not it. That was not.
Look.
On Twitter.
There we go. You first off, appreciate everyone coming through. You guys definitely, we had up to almost 700 people.
Wow.
You guys come through here every week. I do want to tell you, the guest rotation's not over.
Party's not over, folks.
We still got we got a great guest next week. We got a great guest the week after that.
Can you give me a hint?
No,
Look,
just you know, between
just joking. I'm joking, bro.
Just between,
I got you, bro. You know,
just
I'm
between us and the realm, I have been posting who the guest is like 48 hours before it goes on YouTube on the members and Patreon.
That is true.
So you know, that's always an avenue if you want to know sooner.
I'm on the Discord.
We don't say it on the Discord either.
I hunt you down.
Shout out to paywalling the
first off, I want to
thank
thank everyone in the round that came through on the Returnal stream.
Yes.
Part of me doesn't want to keep doing those because it's crashing. I'm scared I'll get like 2.5 hours in, it'll crash. But that will
get off that unstable box.
Well, look, man. Look, Returnal.
Like the way that sounds.
Returnal is only on the unstable box. Okay.
Then return it like everybody else.
Returnal.
I do want to, I want to thank you all for showing up tomorrow at 1 p.m. I will stream it again. I usually try to give Sundays ILP. We don't want nothing else on the channel. And it's like I said, we are doing the E3 shows at the end of the month. I think Nintendo is first, isn't that right? And then Sony. Yeah, Nintendo's first, then Microsoft. Like I said, put in the comment section below and put in the chat who you want at the Nintendo E3 prediction and who you want in the Microsoft, the Xbox E3 prediction show. And who knows, maybe we'll try to get those people.
No doubt, we'll try to have a big one. Lord Solve, where can people find you? What you got going on?
Yeah, first off, big shout out to Grubb coming through. Jeff Grubb as he's called by Greg Miller. Jeffrey Grubb. And big shout out to the Irish Carp. Welcome to Lords of Cable.
Thank you for having me. I love y'all. Y'all funny.
I'm actually chilling today, so I'm anybody want that smoke?
I might be down with all that. I might be down with all that.
Do you all live in the same area?
Let's go. I got a few things to do first, but I will definitely be on a little bit.
I'll be in my house half naked playing. I'm not driving to nobody's house.
Hold on, real quick. Some people in the chat. I'm not saying what you want at the prediction show. I'm saying like what guests would you want on our show for the prediction show?
Right. They sort of Phil Spencer's throwing up. Continue.
And let me see. Once again, big shout out to and congratulations to Pecan Fusion for winning the copy of Resident Evil Village. We will get that to you ASAP, sir. We have 2 more super chats real quick. We have the Everborn Saga, $2 super chat. Phil out here in the gaming streets with 12 a key.
Yeah, man. If you don't understand what that is, you don't need to know.
Hustler's ambition.
Exactly. Then we got Gerald Mac, $5 super chat. Respect, G Lord Sovereign, good looking out, Lord Kingstradamus.
Brother, thank you.
No doubt, brother.
Yeah,
we're good.
And keep in mind, whoever won the Assassin's Creed, hit me up on Twitter, Lord Addict ILP. Tweet me, and we'll definitely get that to you.
No doubt.
I gotta run.
Yeah,
shout out to Jeff Grubb. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for Lord Irish for being here, and I love you guys.
No doubt. He sounded like Russell Simmons. God bless that. No doubt. Oh, shout out to Brat with the $2 super chat. Salute, Lords. You already know he came in at the end.
Don't ever say his name like that.
Oh, my God. That's the homie. Look, that's what you got to go. Look, great show, y'all. Love to have the discourse, the discussion. Grubb was amazing.
He was great.
Love to hear the history. I mean, tremendous. And at the end of the day, we can all agree to disagree. That's fine. Just be respectful. Just be respectful.
Just be human is all I ask.
Just be respectful, guys.
We're all people.
Yeah, and the last thing I say, the chat was a little spicy today. Again, the bonds are going to be on you with the personal attacks. Just please, no person. You can say, I disagree, right? Don't say such and such is an idiot because blah, blah, blah. Once you throw the name and all that, it's a wrap. They're going to get you. They're going to clap.
The mods know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Right. They have free reign in there.
Exactly.
We're going to 100% support our mods. So
facts. So just keep it light, you know what I'm saying? And focus on we be talking about good conversation. They in there beefing. But anyway, that's what I got to say. Your Lord Irish, an absolute pleasure.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me.
No doubt. Shout out to Dell. He said, but my plastic, I gotta defend my plastic. But salute to you, my brother. Long overdue. Love the positive energy. Me and you definitely gonna be working together in the future.
Now we're doing the social media aspect.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make some magic.
We're gonna make history, make some things happen. And of course, when the
shout out to Hyde.
Oh yeah, shout out to Hyde. When the pandemic ends, you know we gonna build, and it's gonna be some of that coconut rum amongst other beverages.
Yeah, man, I swear to God, the minute I get out there, I'm going to the butcher's, get some chicken wings. I'm going to the liquor store, and I'm going to make myself a coconut rum. And I got the blue dye.
You got the blue dye.
That's funny.
No, that's all I got. Like Addict said, next week, man, another one. We should have some fun. That's all I got. Addict, solve anything else we got to go before we do?
I said everything we need to.
All right, so we good. We
pleasure meeting y'all.
Pleasure meeting y'all. Everybody, enjoy y'all Sunday. Stop beefing on Twitter and all that. Peace.
See you later, boys.